welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when you're...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss is coming.
Packing Megan Fox's leg warmers part 2. Here you go. It's self-applying. Oh, isn't that nice? Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Indeed. What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, by the way, I heard that I'm going to the jailhouse. Did you hear about that? I'm going to the jail. I love it. I love it. Now I'll have to comment like more thoroughly on this stuff tomorrow when I pull the transcript and go through it all. But I learned today that apparently that voice clips in texts, they aren't actual evidence. And that apparently still, Preston, despite all of that, apparently hasn't talked to me. Not only that, but somehow in some way that that all of the recording breaks the law, and it's somehow third party contact. Because somehow all of us work for Jeremy. How has your day been? I swear, these people are the dumbest human beings alive. That's right. I heard that. And that was pretty funny. I was like, well, first of all, John Cook said, here, I'm going to make this comment right off the top, okay? And I'll get more, like I said, involved in this stuff tomorrow. But John Cook said that now he's got a case and he's going to sue. Well, it's really funny because, again, the one thing I'm not going to show them, I'm going to make them pay for, is the fact that Lynette Preston was told that she was being recorded. I will make them spend money to do it. Take me to court then. Let's do it. I beg you. Do it. Please do it. Because what I'll do is I'll make you spend thousands of dollars through filing, thousands of dollars when you get all the way up to serving me, because that'll be fun. As I've learned, apparently I can do anything I want. That's what I've been told. And then after that, after all of that, I will produce the beginning of that, which has Lynette Preston being told, hey, by the way, you are being recorded. Plus, again, as I said last night, Tina, she's the one who set it up as well. She's, what's funny is, Lynette didn't do her own setup work to get a contact with me. Like I said, she had Tina set it up. So she's on the call too. I left her there. Bam! There's your little bombshell in time too. Yes, that's right. There was actually 3 people on the call. Not one. No, not 2. No, 3. So, yeah, Tina was definitely on there. In fact, the beginning of the call starts out with her being like, "Oh, y'all want to say hi?" And I'm like, "Hey, Michelle, and by the way, I am recording." And she just goes about her business. So she introduces herself and everything else. But it's funny. But there would be a witness on top of that. And then on top of everything else, I would also use their own interviews in my countersuit, because I would sue them for a frivolous filing, because Lynette Preston and John Cook absolutely know that thing's real. They're playing up for their hosts because they hope they can get a little more money. It's so funny. Oh God, it's been a good day. It's been a really fun one. On top of that, Jeremy's been holding out on us apparently, because I realized that sanctions were a coming. However, I did not realize that when the court was talking about sanctioning, the court was actually talking about Michelle Preston being held liable for appropriate sanctions, and Scott Stark Esquire in equal shares. Now, in that, I would say that they'd probably go after Scott Stark's estate, and if you're like, well, that doesn't sound nice, Tug. Well, his significant other that is still around is bragging about how they have millions these days. So not sure how they have that, but they decided again, she was part of that whole thing too. So yeah, but why are they going after them for a quote unquote filing of a frivolous complaint that they knew or should have known had no legal or factual basis on which to proceed? AKA, you just lost big time, suckers. So yeah, Lynette Preston is going to eat one, a really big one. We're going to talk about that. Also, the fleas, they're the dumbest people on the planet, by the way. As you may have heard already, the Dan Owens lawsuit was dismissed. They went exactly like I told you it would. Now, like I've been saying, now, well, you'll appeal, and the appeals process. See, when you go after, first of all, when you go after a public, a prosecutor, especially prosecutors are, if you go after judges, prosecutors, they're pretty well, they're protected pretty damn well. They can do a lot. They can do a lot and get away with a lot of shitty things. Calling them out is part of the process, actually letting people know what happened. But you can go and you can appeal that. Now, when you appeal, I figure again, this is guesswork on how you would go forward. You would have the 11th Circuit deciding. Now, I won't say they're useless, but now they there's a good chance that they'll shoot it down too. After that, you appeal to the highest court, and when you do, you can see if they will actually hear you. Now, the fact that this stuff is such a different kind of case, they may actually choose to do so. But holding prosecutors, again, holding them accountable is one of the hardest things to do. So dismissal, yeah, like I said, I told you that's how it would go. The real game doesn't even start till you get to the appeals court. So we'll see how that goes. We'll probably go over that filing tomorrow, I guess, maybe Sunday. I don't know which one. We'll see. We have 3 filings. One of them I really want to cover today. That one that's talking about the Preston bomb. I noticed, by the way, that they totally skipped that one. That was really interesting. All they wanted to talk about, I noticed the only time they ever have quote unquote breaking news is when they think that Jeremy might get one up, and they've had 2. 2 of them. It's amazing. They are so panicked, by the way. Oh my God. They're so panicked. They're so bad off. And this is funny too. I was thinking about this. So their deflection point on the recordings is that the recordings are actually Lynette Preston talking to Tina. That's the way I understood. They're really hard to decipher what the fuck they're trying to say. But I believe that's what they were trying to say. And you know what I thought about that? I thought, so they're admitting that Lynette Preston talked about putting them in jail. Talked about going and talked about receipts and everything else. They're just so butthurt. They can't stand the idea that she sold them out to myself. And they have to whine and cry to their audience about it. It can't be real. I still don't understand the third party thing. They do realize, like, Jeremy Hales does not have a protective order against him, right? So there would be no way to do that. On top of it, how does Lynette Preston reaching out to anyone, how is that a third-party violation? If anything, are you trying to say that she violated third party because she reached out and violated against Hales? Absolutely not. They wouldn't say that. But I don't even understand it, man. It's pretty funny. It's pretty good, though. I enjoyed it. Did you see, by the way, Megan Fox's leg warmer rapping? If you missed that in the intro, let's look at that again real quick. Because, again, Megan, yesterday we tried to make Megan really happy with that by talking about, we'd box those up. We boxed them up really good, and she didn't like that. She didn't like this one. Hey, we're boxing up Megan Fox's leg warmers here. This is yarn to make her own, and no box would be complete without... She said that wasn't good. Those leg warmers, they just didn't look comfy or something. I'm not really sure, Maybe they were the wrong size. I'm not sure exactly what she was trying to say with it, but for whatever reason, she was not happy about it. She said some stuff on live stream about that. I don't remember. I was making pictures. I wasn't paying too much attention. So, like I said, I decided, well, we'll give it another go. So last night, I got out the old packing box, and well, here's try 2. Packing Megan Fox's leg warmers part 2. Here you go. It's self-applying. Oh, isn't that nice? Wasn't that sweet? They self-apply. I mean, you don't even have to do any work. You just you just hold it in your hand and let it near your leg, and it wraps right around and keeps you warm. Isn't that cool? You like that? That'd be perfect for her. I mean, she'd love it. You're right. It was a snake. Yes, indeed. That's my little pal. That's when the kids talk about cold slither. That's what the little one, when she's like, yeah, cold slither, I like him. That's who she's talking about. He's a little banded king snake. He's calm, by the way. He's a good little guy. He'd make a great leg warmer. I haven't heard any complaints yet. I mean, if I have to repack that box yet again, I'm not going to be happy. Okay, so you guys want to see a beautiful filing today? I've let about 2,600 of you folks get in here. Just having a little bit of fun. Talking about, again, tomorrow. Yeah, you had a king snake. We don't have king snakes in this area. We have like corn snakes, and chicken snakes, and all those wonderful things. King snakes are very calm animals. Well, most of them. That one came from a home that, where we get them, they're not bred there. They're they rescue them. So that one was left all by his little lonesome in a tank, and he was left for a long time. He was a little baby, like a little tiny baby when he was and he was abandoned, but he was left in a tank, left with no water, no nothing, no food, and yeah, he ended up being a rescue. People abandon apartments. Well, they abandoned his little butt in an aquarium, so he ended up getting rescued, and he actually has a great disposition for being an animal that has been through a lot of trauma. So, some of them, they get feisty and try to bite, because they're protective. It's not their fault. It's a human's fault, but not this one. This one is the calmest little suck I've ever seen. So, but yeah, we usually end up with rescues. So today, you guys want to see this wonderful filing. Now, this attaches, by the way, just to make this very clear, this attaches to what we were discussing with, let me pull this document up. Now, you've already seen this one, okay? To make this clear, you saw this one, but I'm saying these are attached, all right? You saw where you had your order granting motion to strike unauthorized communication and for sanctions for unauthorized practice of law. You saw that, talking about Bruce and everything else, Well, what goes along with it, and we will look at this on the back end of it, just in case you missed that for some reason. We'll talk about that too. But along with that stuff, oh, this is so good. This is a good one. You're going to enjoy it. Oh, it's so good. Let's look at this. Ooh, look here. Again, you can always recognize the case by the players, You'll notice, again, we have our regular players. We have Larry Foreman Esquire. By the way, funny enough, I noticed that all these chumps were trying to come harder at Larry Foreman again after today. I guess they want to spin. You had the quote unquote journalist. I thought it was really funny that they finally are like, oh yeah, he's gonna lose that to Dan Owens. I was like, even he thought that was an uphill slog. But we've been telling you for freaking since that came out, he's probably going to lose it. I know people didn't like hearing it, but that's probably going to happen, and it go to appeals, and in the appeals court, it depends. I mean, it's the 11th Circuit. The 11th Circuit can be absolutely useless too. It is a slog, but they finally decided to get on that, and they've decided to go heavy today. Heavy after Larry Foreman, huh? Now, of course, with the ecosystem not wanting to talk about this wonderful little thing again, sanctions, sure, right? Like you said, Jeremy made sanctions clear, but something I don't think that came through in this is what exactly is happening through this. Okay. Like the fact that this is frivolous garbage. You know, Lynette, by the way, they, remember who dug you this hole? Remember the guy who came out, the guy who said that filing these two cases, that would be a wonderful idea. And not only that, but if you filed them, that there would be nothing that could happen. You know, y'all remember that, right? There was no way after everything had been dropped. That was just a conspiracy. It was all just a conspiracy. I mean, I remember that very well. 1 second. Matt Skin in. Like I said, I remember that very, very well, where he was trying to tell everybody that no, that there's no way whatsoever that anything could happen. Now look at where we are now. Again, these folks, they want you to have, because the ecosystem has the memory of, I don't know, sand mites. They're really, I'm telling you, if you're over listening, again, I'm not trying to be an ass to you, but come on, folks. You've been told like repeatedly that this was not going to go well. And even though that came up, we heard over and over, nope. There ain't no way that this could go bad. Well, okay, here it is. So check this out here. This is the order granting defendant's motion for sanctions pursuant to section 51.105 FS. So this cause came before the court on December 17th. So again, remember, that's all attached as a motion for sanctions pursuant to Florida statute, section 57.105, filed by defendants Jeremy Hales, George, and Larry Foreman. Now you have, again, one that would be, again, DJ Radis was never served. So as far as this complaint went, again, they never bothered to get him served because, well, he's slippery out there. You remember the whole thing about them trying to serve him? You all do remember that, right? Because he, they couldn't manage it. I mean, it was amazing to watch. But yeah, they threw a fit over that, remember? Now, now that's okay, though. Now it's all good to go. Now it's gravy, baby. When it deals with Jeremy Hales, like I said, these guys ever want to sue me, you're going to have to serve me first. And remember, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about not admitting that I'm a person or anything. So, you know, good luck with that one. I mean, we watched them, you know, play the crappiest game ever. So I just remember that. All right. But anyway, let's continue here. So, whoops, let's go back up top. That would be Doc 37. And the court, having reviewed the court filings and heard testimony, the court makes the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. Well, there, let's see. This will be the first part, the finding of fact. So, on August 16th, 2024, plaintiff filed a complaint for injunction and damages under Florida statute 540.08. Now, remember, that's how far back all of this goes. So, we're talking about all the way back August 16th. 2024. That's crazy, right? Now, on the 27th of 2024, the defendants, they end up serving a 21-day, now these are important, safe harbor letter. They're telling them basically. You remember Larry talking about that? You remember the discussion about safe harbor and everything, where essentially you have 21 days to stop what you're doing or else. And they didn't think that mattered. In fact, they said we had the greatest lawyers out there ever say that none of that would matter. You remember that? It's all fake storyline. Remember, you can't get sanctioned. Actually, let's pull that up real quick. I want to make sure you remember this while we're reading this. Okay, let's pull this up. Boy, that I love this. Remember, this is a storyline for PR. The case is closed. So after everything falls apart, remember, and they decide, we're done. We're not going to go forward. There is no hearing or any sanctions motions scheduled. Remember, sanctions motions, the one you're looking at right now, the sanctions that happened, they were all fake. Remember, it was just a PR storyline. How dare that Megan Fox? Remember? February the 5th. That was a hearing, which we'll discuss. It'll see the timeline on the motion for summary judgment, which is moot. There is no basis for seeking damages for having to spend money to defend a frivolous lawsuit unless you've prevailed on the underlying allegedly frivolous lawsuit on its merits. Again, the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Anybody can sue you, but you don't have any recourse. That is not true. As you will see today, they have been 100% wrong in this stuff over and over. It was voluntarily dismissed without prejudice and can be refiled. They blame, of course, Megan Fox. Megan Fox will continue to promote it and her plan to cover it live because she's a monster. No, because it will create suspense. Yes, so remember, it's all fake. Remember, they can't have any of this go against them. Just remember that. That was according to BBB. We've been laughing at that since that came up. But so since February, remember too, they've been kicking this can down the road since February. And finally, it lands. They also were wrong about the bankruptcy, stopping all of this stuff from happening too. Fun times there, right? So they filed a 21-day safe harbor letter, which again, we'll look at a statement about that in a few minutes. And unfiled motion for sanctions pursuant to section 57.105 Florida statute upon plaintiff's counsel. Now, the motion asserted that plaintiff's counsel asserted no basis in fact or law to proceed under sections 540.08 FS. Now, plaintiff did not respond to the defendant's motion for sanction, nor did she withdraw her complaint within a 21-day safe harbor period. Now, you remember how they talked about safe harbor too. They decided to tell people that the safe harbor thing, much like everything else, that was some kind of conspiracy as well. You remember that all of this stuff, they could have just stopped, but they didn't. In fact, it really does look like, because they decided to stand their ground, somebody filed more litigation. Again, good luck, Bruce, going after Larry, especially with things and how they're going for you right now. This right here, this hits the case that you helped bring against him. You just had a lot of trouble. You just got admonished by the courts, and good luck saying that's never going to pop up too. Wow. You sure you want to keep going down this road, Brucey boy? You sure about that? And by the way, remember, he responded to about 21 days safe harbor periods. He actually responded to Larry Foreman who posted about that, saying, hey, I'm just going to leave this here for those in doubt. Remember, he said all of this is not real. It doesn't matter. So here's a little dilly talking about what we just saw there, talking about safe harbor laws. Thank you, by the way, for all of you being here. Appreciate that. Over 3,000 of you. It has been a heck of a week, has it not? Have you all been very entertained this week? Because I have. The only people that do not seem to be entertained by the outings this week are those antis. They seem to be very, very shook. Like I said, I really hope, oh my God. First of all, I'd love to know where any of them would get money to sue myself, but I would make them. Again, I pulled out the consent thing, or the acknowledgement of recording from anything that I did, to make sure that they have to pay to see it. Remember, they said the tapes, there was no proof. It never happened. So I showed you that it did. I told you there was proof. And after that, they're like, oh my God, you can't record. Well, yeah, you can't. First of all, there are a few problems that you would have had anyway. I live in this place called Tennessee. I live in a one-party consent state myself. So, but I figure, okay, well, sometimes you can, maybe if you could afford a lawyer, maybe you could work around that. So I also, she does not call like a normal person. She utilizes Facebook Messenger, which Facebook Messenger, you may even be able to shoot something down for that. But I was like, who cares? So, like I said, I made sure to note this is being recorded, just like anything else you do. And she was happy with that. She seemed very okay while she was talking about them going to jail. So they can threaten all this week. They can posture and more, but all I'll do is I will make sure that they pay a lot of money so they can hear that thing. But they already know exists, so that would mean that they filed a frivolous freaking filing. And if they don't file one, by the way, then you know what? That proves that they lied through their teeth. So either put up or shut up. Like I said, sue me for it, please. Sue me for it. I will definitely, like I said, I will definitely come off of that only after you get me into court. But anyway, I digress. Here's the thing about 21 days. You can see that he posts about the safe harbor for anybody out there in doubt, understanding that you have 21 days to withdraw a claim or defense. If the other party withdraws or corrects the issue, that won't cause any type of problems. But if you don't do things within that, then it becomes an issue. Now, like I said, Bruce said that the 21-day thing didn't matter. That essentially, again, you can go out. It's the dumbest thing. I swear I've heard some of the dumbest legal arguments I've ever freaking seen. I mean, imagine a world where you could just file lawsuits at a whim, go after anybody that you want, and there's never any recourse for a person. They could never sue you back for filing all your vexatious garbage. I mean, imagine that world. Could you imagine how many more garbage lawsuits we would see? We'd see them all the time, because why wouldn't people would be they'd be filing 50, 60, 70 freaking lawsuits a day, going after big companies, especially hoping that they could get that one judge that would give them that payout. There'd never be a recourse. But anyway, I digress. So the defendants filed their motion for sanction September 18th, 2024. Now, the plaintiff further failed to respond at all to defendants' discovery requests for all evidence in support of plaintiff's claim, as well as subsequent motion to compel discovery. Now, you remember, this is another part of it that's very important. When you get this, you got to remember This has become something that Lynette Preston has become notorious for, not wanting to comply in any lawsuit first, but especially in those that she herself brings. You know that wonderful tape of her pleading the fifth and trying not to answer questions in a lawsuit? You remember that? Or rather, in a protective order hearing? You remember all that? That was in something that she brought. That's right. That was one of her movements. She didn't want to provide evidence. She didn't want to provide discovery. And that's one of the things. When you get into lawsuits, you do indeed have to provide discovery. And it is especially crucial when you get into a lawsuit that you yourself file, that you understand you are going to have to provide stuff. Some of those things you are not going to want to provide. It's going to open you up for all types of questioning. And she wouldn't do anything. She would not cooperate at all. It's astounding when you look at those garbage cases that we saw coming up. They're going to continue going like this. And again, you notice who's not on the hook for this, by the way. It's going to be Bruce. Even though Bruce is sitting behind the scenes, Bruce has a contract, in fact, with these folks. It's still not going to say, and Bruce Manskin. It's going to be the lawyer that was present in the court. And it's going to be Michelle Preston. Although I do wonder if you could potentially, considering how much garbage that he's done, I wonder if you could add that. Like this, I'm sure you could add to that lawsuit against him. Because he was part of the quote-unquote team on this one. So I'm sure in the litigation that is... See, there's another lawsuit that is aimed at him that we're not even... I'm sure that's got to be a wonderful feeling too. But let's continue. So after the 21-day safe harbor period had run, and subsequently on the eve of the hearing scheduled on defendant's motion for summary judgment, plaintiff voluntarily dismissed her complaint. You remember how this stuff went, by the way. We had them not only not turn over anything, but Lynette Preston, she was supposed to be made available. They were supposed to get to depose her. You remember that? Now, Lynette Preston, at the last second, just like any other time, Lynette Preston does not cooperate. She doesn't appear, which is insane, by the way. After that, at the last minute, you have Scott Starkey's like, not going to do this, not going to do that. We had this excuse or that excuse. Well, you have Randy file something about that because, of course, he did. Why wouldn't he file something? If you've got to waste your time, you've got to waste your money. That's one thing that they've done. They've wasted plenty of Jeremy Hales' money, plenty of his and his lawyer's time. They wasted plenty of the court's time, too. That's also a problem. If you're going out, you're not really making a lot of friends when you're wasting the court's time, I'm going to say. They've done very well about angering a judge. Now you got to remember this was before we had a different judge at the time, We actually had Judge, what's his name, Davis at the time. Now, Judge Davis, we never even really got, I can't comment on how good of a judge he was because we didn't really get to see anything as far as that guy goes. It would have been nice to see something as far as that guy goes, but Grabe has been pretty fantastic in this, I'm going to say. God, there's another thing too. I'm pulling up a couple of wonderful wonderful commentaries on this stuff for you because I want you to see this spin as well. So I'm putting it in place right now too. All right. So the plaintiff was properly noticed for the hearing set December 17th, 2025, but didn't appear, huh? Now, you know what's funny is Marla has actually been out there saying that the judge in this case right here somehow in some way agreed with Lynette Preston. It's the weirdest thing. I can't quite figure out. I mean, Marla doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about ever, it feels like. But she was out saying that, you know, the judge actually, he had put down some type of a decision. And yeah, I think things are finally going her way. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this while this decision is setting out there, they all avoided that and they sat around spinning that things that the judge is agreeing. Does this sound like the judge agreeing, by the way? Do you hear any agreement in this whatsoever where the judge is like, oh, well, I understand why you didn't appear, Miss Preston? Absolutely not. They actually came out. They had a bunch of spin to this, and they were saying that Michelle, the reason she didn't show up, the first spin, check this out, I want to show you this, because judges love it when you don't show up. Really smart stuff, right? But the spin, this didn't come from today, it came from 2 days ago, was, Michelle, she sent stuff via regular mail, so she has a delay in response from the get-go. They know that. In fact, Jerm counts on it. And they go on and on. Essentially, they're trying to say that, oh, well, she's at some disadvantage. And no, they were absolutely notified. In fact, Michelle Preston wrote the fucking court. That's right. Oopsie, Miss Preston. You wrote the court and you told them you wouldn't be there, didn't you? Are you not telling people what you're doing? It amazes me because she wrote the court and told them for that hearing that just happened, she was told by her lawyer she didn't have to be there, even though the judge was like, yeah, you're already scheduled for it. Be here. She wrote the court and told them, I won't be here. Now, as far as I'm aware, BBB never did anything. He never acknowledged or did anything at all, which not good either. And Bruce absolutely knew that this stuff was there. You absolutely did, Bruce. Come on, man. Lord. Is this a vendetta game, by the way, Bruce? Is it really worth it? Do you feel like you're winning? Do you feel like this is winning? Like I said, Lynette turned on you, buddy. I'll play that clip again for you in a little bit because it goes with everything else. But I definitely want Bruce to really understand that. I know that they're out there playing the spin game, all the 2 L's and all these losers. But the fact is, even under their spin, they're acknowledging. See, again, in their spin, they're trying to say that Lynette was actually just talking to Tina. Now, again, I'm not going to play you the clips where all 3 of us are speaking. I'll make them pay for it. Sue me. Very much. Sue me. I almost did some Dr. Claw. You remember the Inspector Gadget? I'll get you next time, Gadget. Oh my God. I love that show back in the day. Anyway, that was very random. But these people, man. Oh, they're so dumb. They're so dumb. Anyway, let's continue. That was very random. Props if you remember Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget. Yeah, okay, let's continue. See, but she didn't appear. None of them did. And again, wow, what a decision. So defendant's counsel indicated he received an email from plaintiff the day before the hearing that she did not intend to appear. Isn't that interesting, huh? So she made it very clear that she was not coming to this. Now, again, if she wants to argue that point, I will make sure that I get that and we can look at it and we will look it over. Because apparently, one of the things that seems to be the norm these days that seems to be popping up is the fact that they lie. They lie. But again, this is what Preston has done with everything else. So why would anyone expect her to show up? She hasn't shown up for anything else. So why would they expect her to do that? Now, on a prior occasion involving a hearing that, see, here you are, that had been properly set and noticed, plaintiff informed the court on the eve of the hearing that she did not intend to appear. Now, like I said, the court remembers that stuff, Lynette. The court absolutely remembers that stuff. You remember when we had a little discussion about how that's a terrible idea because you can't thumb your nose? You know, every court out there doesn't act like Buckleup has so far. Courts, if they're acting properly, they will drop the hammer on you, and they will drop it hard on you. You do not want to tick them off. I cannot believe the latitude that these people have been given by Buckleup. You know, that blows my mind, because typically, again, any other court out there, they put you in your place, and they put you in your place pretty damn quickly. Now, like I said, Buckleup's court has been an exception rather than the rule. And I think sometimes when they've had that, it's given them the wrong impression that you can get away with anything. You know, they think, I can file anything, I can say anything, I can disrespect anyway, and nothing will happen with it. Well, that's the wrong idea to have. It is the worst, stupidest idea ever. Because sooner or later, somebody's going to call you out on it. So the court here, they proceeded with the hearing on December 17th, 2025, as plaintiff provided neither good cause nor any reason whatsoever for her absence. Yeah, she just blew him off. See, that's crazy too. See, Lynette, she didn't provide good cause. Like that, if she could have come in and provided something, anything, potentially, could she have gotten away with it? It's doubtful. It's doubtful. She was not going to be able to get away with it because of bankruptcy as an excuse. That's one thing that we definitely knew. Bankruptcy, that's what that's, by the way, what she was trying to use. She was trying to say that her lawyer said, I don't have to show up because I have a bankruptcy stay in effect. When a court says you have to show up, you have to show up. It doesn't fucking matter what you think or what your lawyer did. Because again, at the end of the day, your lawyer isn't the one that is going to end up paying for it. It's going to be you. You gotta be smarter than that, right? Lynette, I swear. You know what's funny is she talked about the inadequacy of her counsels. She talked about she dissed on her counsels. She's done that, you know. Oh my God! By the way, to announce this again, next week, Tina, the person they all keep complaining about, she will be on. We'll talk to her. We'll talk about how those recordings came into being too, and certain people knowing about that. We'll talk about all kinds of wonderful things with her. Actually, Tina, you know, it's amazing because I'm kind of glad I got to talk to Tina, because what I found out was that this person, they actually wanted to help with the kid. They wanted that kid to be able to have a better life. And on top of it, they had hoped that they could help Preston. And when I say help Preston, let me make this very clear now. Okay. I'm not talking about win litigation or anything else, but to make smarter moves, because the people that it's stacked up there, they're not helping. Like right now, again, the one person holding the bag, actually there's two people holding the bag. It's going to be Scott Starks. His estate is holding the bag, even though Bruce wanted to bring this stuff. He's not the one there. And that's one of the things this woman wanted. She wanted to have these people actually get some kind of help, make better decisions, put this stuff, get this stuff sorted. However, if you got to pay, you got to pay, but you're not winning here. You're wrong. And it was good to talk to her about it. What I found out was that, it reminds me a lot of times that there are good people that try to help these folks, and they get treated like absolute trash. They do. And ultimately, when they decide, hey, I've had enough, I'm tired of this. See, they also, again, Lynette Preston put this person, she wanted them making contact with me because she wanted to rat out all these other people she's around. Specifically, Lisa. Again, she wants Lisa to go to prison. Even under the spin that Lisa came up with, it's still, she has to spin the conversation. The conversation's real. She didn't even deny that. That's the funny thing. I expected to be like, that's all AI, but nope. nope. Went a different way with that. So she admits, Lynette's talking about putting her in prison. That also means that Lynette's talking about having receipts for her lying about stuff, but we'll get all to that. We'll get to that too. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm all over the place today. My God, you'd think this is a podcast. I don't know. I feel a little gloat in me today. I do. Because like I said, that they thought, they were like, oh my God, Dan Owen. Well, they also think the Dan Owen case, by the way, I will say this. They think the Dan Owen case somehow helps them. And it's like, how do you think that helps you? Well, it's a federal case. Oh my God, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That case is not connected in any way. This case, however, it connects to some of your players in this. So, yeah, this case can have some bearing. It's a little different. It's man, no wonder they didn't talk about this today at all. Like it's something. So let's continue. So no good cause, no reason whatsoever for her absence because of the automatic stay resulting from plaintiff's bankruptcy filing during the proceeding and after review of the defendant's memorandum of law regarding the court's authority to proceed on the issue of sanctions, notwithstanding the stay in bankruptcy, as well as the court's independent research. Now, imagine what they're going to all do is be like, oh, they only took Randy's word for it. Oh, my God. No, the court actually says here that they did their own independent research as well. The court proceeded with the sanctions hearing on the issue of entitlement only. Now, that's what you got to understand. As far as money is concerned, numbers. Will you have numbers with this? Not yet. Now, I remember Jeremy talking about this, by the way, and as he stated, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I remember him talking about that in one, it was either a video or a live stream. I can't remember which, but he said, yeah, they're on the hook for a lot. What is a lot? It's tens of thousands of dollars. It's money that they're not going to be able to discharge. And it's a lot. This right here by itself is this is Lynette Preston. She's done. There's nothing she can do. And just wait, we still have Ohio coming. By the way, we'll get to that. Remind me to talk about Ohio in a minute too, and that'll be fine. Okay, so at the hearing, the court admitted into evidence the documents pertinent to defendant's sanction bonus. So they took judicial notice of the case law provided by defendants, and they heard the testimony of one Randy Shuckett, Esquire. Okay. So the court finds that defendants have clear entitlement to attorney fees. So look at this right here. The court talking about this case here, this garbage case that they brought, that Bruce told you they would refile. Well, here you go. This is a clear decision against them. They have said that the defendants have a clear entitlement to attorney fees pursuant to Florida sections 57, 105, 1A, and 1B, as plaintiff and her then counsel, Scott Stark, knew or should have known there was no legal or factual basis for plaintiff's complaint beyond existing law applied to the facts in plaintiff's complaint. They should have known. Again, this isn't just saying, hey, you're entitled to money. It's going to get a little worse for them, too. There's going to be a little bit more of that cookery coming up, you know, because what they're talking about here is filing frivolous and baseless action. This is a win in the court. This is a loss for Lynette Preston, because we're not just talking about sanctions for garbage. We're talking about he's discussing her garbage lawsuit. And her garbage lawsuit is frivolous and baseless. This was created to harass people. You know, Bruce, this right here is going to come up. It's going to really come up in your hearing that you have filed against. Oh, my God. I'm telling you, DUI guy is going to have a field day, because you have this right here. This was aimed at him, by the way, which is a garbage lawsuit that you were part of. So he 100% can prove that, even though you were like, oh, he had nothing to do with it. Well, we have chats behind the scene where you're discussing with Lynette Preston about you, not her, but you paying part of the debt, you know, part of the money to pay for Scott Stark to be there. And then she's going to pay going forward. So you definitely were involved in that. It looks like some kind of retaliatory bullshit. You said you never been in trouble, never did anything wrong. Well, these people, you definitely got admonished in this courtroom. You definitely wrote a dozen emails. Is that what it went with? A dozen? I mean, that's crazy, dude. You know that's crazy too, right? Plus, again, you know, like I said, Lynette, even in the clip I provided, she said, well, Bruce and I have had our issues. Let's leave it at that. Only she doesn't leave it at that. Again, the stuff, holy God, the stuff Tina can tell you about, whoa, baby. Holy moly. Like Tina, they said a lot about you, Bruce. Again. By the way, I got this wrong, too. I got something wrong. I will note this. The time frame that Tina was talking to Lynette Preston, I got it wrong. You know, I said weeks. Yeah, when I say weeks, I should have been saying dozens of weeks. We are talking about a lot of time. For some reason in my mind, you know, because all this stuff blurs together, I was thinking, you know, not terribly long, you know, a couple of months, maybe at most. No, not even. We're talking about more like dozens of weeks. So months. And she sold them out pretty good. You know, what's funny too, today they admit that Tina definitely was talking to Lynette Preston. They tried to say that the recording that I had was me listening in and recording her conversations with Tina, which I thought was funny. Like I say, it's pretty hilarious. Especially, I left out the parts where she acknowledges and greets me because, these people are predictable. They're very predictable. So I left that on purpose, just so I would have it, so they'd have to sue over it, because I think that'll be really fun. I'd like them to spend $10,000 to hear that. That would really amuse me. But on top of that, they're admitting everything that was said there is real. And all the other stuff that we're talking about. So Tina is a great source. A great one. They're telling the public. I hope you're taking that from the 2L spin that Tina's absolutely legit. They went from at first, oh, I just want to see those text messages. Look how it's gone with the spin. They're so panicked in what's going on and their spin that they've gone in just a couple of days from, I want to see the text messages from Tina. Oh, what's your face? I want to see that too. Oh yeah, Tina. Oh yeah, she was having all kinds of conversations with Lynette Preston. Oh my God, I love it. So they knew. They absolutely know. They want to they want to appear to have a solid front. Remember, they can deny whatever they want, but if you listen to the stuff that was played yesterday, actually, we'll play a couple clips today just for the heck of it. We'll play them in full really quick for you, because I posted one just to make it clear. She tried to put her in jail. She absolutely did. What isn't played on anything is the fact that went far enough to go after, again, Gabe's PO. She went after Gabe's PO. That's got to frighten her, because, again, Michelle was motivated enough to do that, but she's not motivated enough to show up in a court. Isn't that weird? But anyway, let's continue. Sorry about that. Again, my mind, I'm so amused by the last few days, because I've known this thing since October. That's when we had their reach out for communication. So all of that's been spinning in process, and I knew that. And again, all the stuff that can be that was put into play from then until really just a few days before that stuff went public. I mean, they have to worry about God. They have to worry about all the stuff that people know. God, they know a lot too. The stuff that we found out, again, we've only hit the tip of that iceberg. It's just amazing stuff. But anyhow, so we're on a 12 here. So the language of Section 57.105 as a Florida statute is mandatory when it comes to awarding attorney fees as a sanction for the filing of frivolous and baseless actions. So when Bruce was telling you that there's no way that there would be anything that popped up, there would be no way they would get attorney fees at more. He said, quote, "There is no basis to seek damages for having to spend money to defend a frivolous lawsuit unless you prevailed on the underlying allegedly frivolous lawsuit on its merits," where he said that. Yeah, absolutely. As they say here, with this, it was a frivolous lawsuit. You 100%. It is. The language of the law says that it is mandatory to award attorney fees. It is not something that you argue over. It is mandatory. So for them to pull that BS, no. That is an absolute lie. And I don't know. Like I said, sometimes I wonder with you, Bruce. Sometimes I wonder, who are you trying to deceive? Are you this wrong in your opinions? Or did Lynette Preston do something and make you mad? In fact, well, there's a short today that I thought was kind of interesting as far as bombshell season, right? So maybe we'll play that for you, because it talked about lawyers. It talked about a certain lawyer picking up a lawyer. And I thought, wow, wait a minute. Is that saying that he's picking up legal counsel to go after these people? Is that what's happening? I mean, they've all gone to the respective corners, and now they've been making appearances, to try to give you this idea of solidarity again. They're trying to pop back out of the woodworks, but we absolutely know that, again, Lynette Preston, she had a lot to say, and she ratted him out for writing her filings. She told a bunch of people, including myself, which is crazy, Bruce. Really. I mean, no pressure at all. She gave you up in a initial conversation. She gave you up with no pressure whatsoever. Isn't that weird, man? And on top of that, again, all the stuff that she said with Tina, not to mention what she said about what other people think about you, how you scream and yell and you're horrible to her and you mistreat. She said that you were abusive. Now, again, I'm not saying that. But she said that about Cook. She said that about Bruce. Man. But anyway, so the court finds, here's number 13. This is an important one. The court finds it is appropriate to assess defendant attorney fees against plaintiff Michelle Preston. So she is getting hit with attorney fees. That is clear. And her then attorney, Scott Stark, Esquire. So the estate of Scott Stark, I'm sure they will go after as well because of, again, everything that's gone on. I like I said, I'm sure there will be spin. Oh, how dare they? Dude, Scott Stark didn't give a shit about Jeremy Hales. He didn't give a shit about freaking George, nor did he care about Larry, nor did he care about DJ Radis. He was all in. He and his wife, by the way, because if you read the reviews, she is a heavy part of it too. Oh, they all thought they had a payday and they piled on. They thought these would be their little pay piggies. They pay for whatever lifestyle, whatever vacations they wanted. They thought they were going to get rich. You saw them talking about it over and over again. Then suddenly they wanted out. They wanted out because they're losing. And then, well, I will say a tragedy happened there, in the fact that Scott Stark, I would not wish that on anyone. Having said that, they would have still come after Jeremy if something terrible would have happened, or they would have come after people that are around him. They do anything in their power. If something happened to someone around him, I mean, God forbid, I'm not wishing that in any way. But they never stop. So, but with him, in equal shares for the filing of a frivolous complaint that they knew or should have known had no legal or factual basis on which to proceed. So again, that lawsuit there, this is a loss in court. This is absolutely them losing. They told you, again, they could not be sanctioned. There was no ground for it whatsoever. That has been the spin since February. They have been telling the world there is no way that could happen. You had, like DUI guy noted when that came up, that would be February the 5th when they were supposed to have a hearing. He had stated on his initial post, he said, our motion for sanctions for filing a frivolous lawsuit and making us spend money on attorney fees against Bruce and Scott is going to be heard in Levy County on February the 5th, 2025 at 1:45 p.m. the Levy County Courthouse, and then in front of Judge Davis. Said Megan Fox informed me that she will have a camera person in the room to record. Chandler and I will be there along with Jeremy and I imagine George to confront our accusers. I'm looking forward to this. Buckle up, justice is coming. So they kept kicking this down the road. They kept doing anything they could. In fact, Bruce even he put together a Google Drive and said there's no basis for any sanctions following the voluntary dismissal of the thumbnail lawsuit. The law on Rule 1.420 is clear. Maybe there's a little bit too much 420 in there, buddy. You know? Maybe get a little less 420, a little more of that lousy law on there. Oh, God. So, conclusion. Defendants are entitled to their reasonable attorney fees pursuant to Florida statute section. So funny, man. This just cracks me up. I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking about how long they have said it. I mean, really think about how many months that's been. We went from February to December of them promoting the same thing, and schmucks out there believing it. You know, they've absolutely believed that. You know, how many people they could have. It's not just encouragement of an idiot like Michelle Preston was encouraged to do something stupid, and it's costing her. It's going to cost her big time. But not only did this stuff cost her, but how many other idiots out there were essentially told, hey, if you don't like somebody, you can sue them. And when you sue them, there will be nothing will happen to you whatsoever. It's all flowers and roses, baby. Now, what does this say when you think about what's being said here about filing frivolous and baseless lawsuits, by the way? What does this say about our claim against Lips? Remember, she filed frivolous and baseless lawsuits against us. She decided in that she could just drop them off. You know, I'm going to drop them off on the side of the road. No muss, no fuss, right? Everything will be gravy. In fact, if you sue her, according to them, if we sued her, we're going to owe her hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Huh. Yeah, about that. How's that work? So again, it's not just one case that this reflects on either. This is something that other people should really take account to, because again, you file frivolous garbage, you threaten people, you know, you file it not once but twice against people. What does that mean? Well, it means that you might have walked yourself into something that you probably shouldn't. So defendants are entitled to reasonable attorney fees pursuant to, again, 57.105 A and B, to be assessed against the plaintiff and her then counsel, Scott Stark, Esquire, in equal shares. Once the plaintiff's stay in bankruptcy is lifted, so after your bankruptcy. So what does that say to you, by the way, Lynette? What this says to me is the court is telling you that the bankruptcy is not going to knock this out. You do notice that, right? Once you finish messing around here, they absolutely know what you're doing with bankruptcy too. Anybody that looks at the docket, looks at all of your delay tactics, looks at the things that you pulled before the bankruptcy, and then here after it, any of these courts can tell what you're doing. And this court is like, okay, well, you got a stay going on right now. Well, you know, fair enough. I can't actually hit you with anything right this moment. But afterwards, it's definitely happening. So after your bankruptcy, again, Lynette, what do you think this says? I know that you've been told by two people who have been wrong. They told you, first of all, they told you that you would win these lawsuits. But then they told you to drop them, and I'm sure, well, I know you were confused by that, actually. I know exactly how you felt about this stuff, you know, again, because you told somebody about all of that. And I want to make this clear, too. If these idiots, if they target Tina, they will definitely have problems. They will definitely. I mean, will they bump their gums and be like, wah, wah, wah? Of course they will. But you try to cause that person any kind of real world problems, you know, turnabout's fair play. Oh, no, you come after her, like I said, because I saw some of them threatening retaliation. Absolutely saw it. And you know what? Again, you think you're smart there, but not smart at all. Threatening publicly is not smart at all. And that Also, that includes Lynette Preston. You know, she started the threats. She did. She started the threats because of the reaching out. But anyway, so once it's lifted, defendant shall schedule a hearing before this court to establish the amount of reasonable attorney fees to which defendants are entitled pursuant to 57.105. So again, once the bankruptcy is lifted, Lynette, one of the first things that you're going to be introduced to under, you know, the 7 years that you can't do anything about debt. Yeah, you're going to find out, like I said, you're going to get hit with all kinds of litigation. And part of that, it's going to be this, attorney fees. Again, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, you're talking about big numbers here. And these are people, again, at one time, you know, it's amazing too, is they had enough money to pay all this stuff off. They absolutely did. But they decided to get in with 2L in the gang. And as I told her at one time, I told her that I was 100% down with helping them with Lisa. And I would have definitely, I was actually, you know what's funny is I was following through. I provided them all the paperwork for Gabe to provide to the police. I provided mugshots. I provided all kinds of stuff on Luthman. I provided all kinds of stuff showing that there are criminals involved in this. But instead, they wanted to keep bumping their gums, and they want to talk about, oh, they're going to sue. They're going to sue myself, Megan Fox. They're going to sue us because, oh, we're stalking and cyberbullying and harassing. Again, while they're behind the scenes working in unison, being given this stuff. Yeah, no thanks. Not helping you recover money so you can file frivolous lawsuits against me and people that I know. No, thank you. Because I get tired of the threats, you know. Just how these people are. It's the same reason everybody has had a problem. So now she's going to end up with this. Good luck. She has the tools where she could go after Lisa. But again, you know, Lisa, well, I guess paying for certain things. Actually, it wasn't just her either, just to make this clear. You know those 2 big donations that were giving the fundraiser? You remember when they put up the PayPal for the Ohio lawyer, and they had a $250 one and a $300 and something one? Yeah, we know the donors there. We know who they are. It's interesting, you know, at least according to Lynette. Again, they can argue that, and they can prove it there. But that's another thing, Bruce, that she stole you out for. She said that you were a certain one of those. Now, again, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that someone sold you out and said that you were one of those donors. And interestingly, you're the one that left the comment about going out and, you know, hitting their lawyer and all of that. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? But anyway, so the court reserves jurisdiction over this matter to establish the amount of defendant's attorney fees and enforcement thereof. So this right here, this is a massive loss in court because, again, they filed a lawsuit. As it says, they decided that they would go after them under 540.08. As we told you before, there is under that, we called it the thumbnail lawsuit because under the thumbnail lawsuit, they said that people used Lynette's image. Therefore, in using her image, you can't do that. So you're sued. You know how that goes. And well, we pointed out right off the bat, hey, there's a provision in here. It allows you to actually talk about and cover things that are newsworthy. Now, here's another little dealie. You want to hear another funny thing? Would y'all like to hear something really funny? You know, a little joke that I kind of, I guess I can reveal the joke and the punchline. It's something that amuses me, you know. It was put out there to amuse me, knowing that one day I'd get to talk about this. And I thought it was pretty funny. So, you know, the thumbnails. I'm sure you all when you pop in, I'm sure you notice thumbnails, right? Now you'll notice I have an AI rendition of an older female that, again, remarkably looks like LP. It's crazy, right? Now, if you go back to when I started using that, I started using that right around when she spoke to me. Because it was a little joke to myself, because I thought it was funny. It was kind of a joke about the thumbnail case. I wanted to see if any of them, if she'd have the stones to mention how they're going to sue people for, likeness and all that again, while she's behind the scenes encouraging litigation and more. So it was kind of a marker for all of that time. Like I said, every time I look at it, I think this person, she's convinced all these people around her that she's going after this or doing that. And meanwhile, she's selling them out. Oh, it's so much fun. Now remember, too, with everything that is popped off, all this problem that I can't, like Bruce, for example, what he's actually gotten himself into. While all of that's happening, we'll pull up that paper just to add it on here. But remember, she sold Bruce out. I'll add that in here since we're talking about this case. Why is that important? Well, because remember that we just had that stuff added on, The reason that, by the way, if you want to understand why this stuff is important too, that's because, Lynette, didn't you tell people that you would just go in there and essentially lie, essentially say whatever that it took? You would deny any involvement or your lawyers any involvement. You actually said that you would go to court and you would lie about that. Isn't that what happened? Let's hear this. I'm just going to let it play. Just again, soak this in. All right. This is what she's doing while I'm going to pull up that Bruce filing that goes along with all this.
Discharged Bruce. I discharged him and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
But I will, and I don't, there's been a lot of things between Bruce and I. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
But I do need Bruce at the moment. I cannot write these motions by myself. And unfortunately, I need the help that he's giving.
Now, you can hear what's funny is, like, 2L, while they're spinning to you as well, you can actually hear me talk under it. But my recorder, it's not the volume you hear me when I'm speaking to you, but my recorder picks me up lower. Because my mic volume, when there's another source, have you ever noticed sometimes the mics go low when we listen to a video? It's one of the reasons I pause video instead of talking over it, because mics will go low, right? Depending on settings. Well, that's the same thing that's going on with this. I have it low, but you can hear me in the back. Whenever I speak, you can actually hear it. Listen, like you can hear me speaking while she's speaking.
I need the help that he's giving.
Hear my voice underneath there? You can hear me, in part of this too.
Bruce, I discharged Bruce.
You hear me talking.
I discharged him and his wife.
You hear me? I'm listening to it. So when you listen to these recordings, you can actually hear me in there. It's just the level of recording. I amplify typically what you hear in recordings. Like idiots, oftentimes they overspeak, and even in this. I have to overspeak her sometimes because she spoke over air. I mean, she just kept up, blah, 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 which is fine, but I want to ask certain things too, right? So I have to be able to cut in and interject sometimes, but I don't want to lose something when I'm doing that. So hence the way that comes up. But you can always crank that volume up in the aftermath. But yeah, comparatively, I mean, the volume levels are definitely lower. They should understand volume levels, though, especially considering the fact that tomorrow, I'm going to pull up. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull up that document with Bruce. Now, like I said, this goes with that. Remember, you saw this wonderful motion, but remember, all of this goes together. Remember, they've been spinning Bruce and everything, but all of this stuff happened on the same day. Remember, the 17th. So everything was fit together. Remember, again, what you saw with the same case, see, the same players, is that Bruce, he wrote to the judge about, I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. It's crazy that they did that because he knows better. Like, Bruce knows better than this stuff. Oh, too, so this is strange. Before I forget this as well, do you guys remember Stupid Dave changing his notice of address, his change of address to general delivery? Do you guys remember that? He told the court, hey, I'm going to change my address over. I just want my stuff to go to general delivery from Wisconsin. You all remember that, right? Well, there was a filing the other day. And the other day, I didn't look at it closely enough. I just saw the exhibits come in. But apparently, where that change of address to general delivery, yeah, the mailings that are going there are being returned to sender. So even the mailing address that he told the court would 100% be one that he would receive mail at, that stuff is also getting kicked back. That does not look good either. It's so crazy. Oh my God. All this stuff is just nuts, man. All of it's so crazy. There are so many freaking just weird filings that have gone in with courts. And again, as I've said I'll also extend what I've stated to with regard to Dan Owen, with Fed 2. As I say, I don't know how Fed 2 will turn out. I have no idea. I mean, it could go just swimmingly. You could have all of these people actually pay for things. You could have some of them let go, some of them not. You could have everyone let go. You could have appeals based on it, because I think you have appealable error. So as far as that, but what I do think, I think that Lynette Preston, no matter how things go, she is going to be on the hook. She's on the hook for Ohio. By the way, Ohio, this is one I wanted to bring up too. Her witness list is looking a little, let's say, peckish at the moment. I mean, you have Beecham, who I have a recording of with her saying that Beecham and her are close, and she told Tina quite a few things. By the way, this is really crazy. The craziest thing I heard, and I'll like I said, we have Tina coming on, and she'll talk about this, and you guys, I hope we're looking at maybe a Christmas interview. I think that will be a treat there. There will be a lot of people around. It'll be later in the day, I realize. So it'll be, late at night for people. If you're on the other side of the, world, it'll actually be the next day. So you don't even need to worry about that, really. But, it's just the time works out good. And it's a Christmas present for all of you folks. But the things that she could tell about with regard to them talking about plotting with Levy County is absolutely insane. Now, again, I realize that you have to take Lynette Preston's word on it, but Lynette Preston, I mean, she lays down a pretty lengthy tale about how she got together with Beecham and how they have plotted to take down Jeremy Hales together, along with other people in the ecosystem. Again, this is not my accusation, to make this clear, but all of these people, they absolutely plotted with Levy County. And we have seen proof that they definitely were calling up, trying to influence it more. And I mean, if they're willing to try to influence courts, what are they doing with the police system? That wouldn't surprise me in the least. But Lynette Preston absolutely was bragging about the fact that she had friends in there. She used names too. She used names of specific investigators that she was talking to that were trying to quote unquote help her out to go after Jeremy Hales. It's crazy stuff, man. When you listen to it, again, I realize that Lynette Preston is the narrator of it, but still, that's one heck of a thing, you know. And again, they made threats with Tina. You know, you had Lynette Preston come straight out, and I take her comment, well, considering some other things that she is alleged to have said toward Tina, you know, when you connect those with her comment and the meaning of it, I absolutely would say that was undeniably a threat. You know, when she's saying that, give me 1 minute. Remember, all this stuff happens together too, but she's telling her, remember, this happens, like I said, to make sure I'm gonna install the timeline every time we talk about this for a little bit, not every single time, but for the next few times that this comes up. You know, with this was brought up right after I said that, yeah, I had talked to LP. Remember, they're telling you that Lynette Preston didn't talk, but she was so mad because Tina was the person that, again, that she utilized to communicate with me. I don't know how she's responsible, by the way, for me talking about that. Lynette Preston is actually responsible for it because, like I said, I don't appreciate being threatened either. I'm not Lisa Lee, man. I'm not going to let you sit there and fucking threaten me. You know, I'll drop elbow. And if you have a problem with that, if you want to threaten me even more, like I said, you want to have little Johnny Cook come out and be like, "I'll sue you if you talk, then fucking sue me, loser." You know, like I said, I have every right to talk about something I can. And again, they've given interviews already. They've given a few of them. So the idea that the thing is, though, that she wanted to keep all that on the hush hush because, well, I mean, look at what she's doing. She's trying to put somebody in jail. That tells you, though. That's one of her witnesses, by the way. You don't think that's going to come up? You don't think Lisa, you don't think Preston, that when you drag this person in, and there's 100, 200 things you can bring up, but one of the greatest things there is, hey, Miss Preston, did you actually contact Levy County to get your own witness thrown in jail because she's a liar and a fraud and stole money from you? Yeah, what a great witness. Well, that's going to be fun. Hey, are these the police you conspired with, the ones you talked about? That'll be fun, right? Oh my God. Such good times. Such really good times. I love it. But anyway, she said to this lady, to Tina, she told her, "You're a deceptive, evil human being, and I hope God punishes you in ways he's never even thought of yet. You deserve every bit of it, every bit of pain and agony that you go through in the rest of your miserable life. You deserve. You are a lying piece of shh. Take that and deliver it to everyone." So she knows I'm talking, and she knows she's blaming Tina for me talking. Take that and deliver it. Because again, like I said yesterday, I'm countering a little of their spin right this moment too. Again, not only have I provided you voice clips, but the part, the really inconvenient part that doesn't fit into their stuff too, is that there were text messages, and the text messages, they show you quite a bit in them actually, which is really funny. But you can see with calls, this is the way Lynette Preston calls. She does audio calls through Facebook. that she's a Facebooker most of the time, right? But sometimes she'll use telephone stuff too, every now and then. But she likes to use Facebook, which is really funny. But you can see her talking about it again. Hey, Tina. Hey, do you possibly have an email or something for that Tug person? Huh. There's two of these. They're inconvenient because they bring up the fact that, oh, there was communication. She wanted that too. And what's funny is when they look at messengers and they look at the person through that, they'll recognize her method. They'll recognize all of this stuff. They'll know that's who they're dealing with. But let's pull up that. So for all of that, the reason I brought all that up is because while all that's going on, I mean, you have Bruce. Bruce is riding the court behind the scenes. He is trying to sway this court in a way that he's not supposed to. It's a big no-no because he's an officer of the court. You're not supposed to be engaging in this kind of conduct. You are not supposed to write a court and tell them, hey, I want you to look at this stuff. Oh, I want to argue law. Again, if he wants to do that, he can put himself into the case. He knows how to. He's done it before. He became pro hoc vice. So he knows the proper method, and the court told him. So on the same day, everything popped off, as we mentioned. The reason I brought all that up, like I said, he's doing this stuff, and meanwhile, Preston's selling them out, which is beautiful when you think about it. That's how the ecosystem works, you know. They don't trust, none of them trust each other. None of them do, and they shouldn't, you know, most of them. But as Bruce, I would be pissed off. I would very well be pissed off. So I don't know what he's doing, but the lawyer thing, it does kind of strike me there. You know, the idea that he could be motivated, that he could want to go after these folks. Yeah. Whew, man. Bruce, if you did go that way, I mean, they have disrespected you. Again, you took this hit while this person's talking smack about you. So the court on the 17th, they heard about the motion to strike unauthorized communications and for sanctions for unauthorized practice of law. Now, in that, the order noted, again, this is a very easy order to follow. Again, the defendant's motion was granted. So, yes, they got what they're not granted in part. You notice a lot of times, by the way, when something comes before the court, it's granted in part, right? This, though, it's granted, period. There wasn't just part of your motion granted. No, it was the whole kit and caboodle. Again, that tells you, like, it's egregious behavior. Egregious. It's so funny. Oh my God, I love it. Oh God, I love it. I do. I love it. Bruce, this stuff is so funny to me. It's all granted in full. What happened to him? Well, you know, the court found that Bruce Manskin, he's not licensed to practice law in Florida. He hadn't been admitted pro hoc vice on that matter, which we said he very much knows how to do. So maybe, just maybe, that would be something that you know, he would consider doing. Man, my phone is blowing up. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see if something happened real quick. Just let me check real quick. 1 minute, please. I would give you hold music, but okay. All right. No, it's nothing brand new. All right. I had to make sure. Sometimes when my phone starts going crazy, like something has popped off, you know, something new and important. I was like, oh my God. Jeremy, man. Yeah, Jeremy. That's a good comment there. Let me see if I can lock that. I don't know if I can or not. Let me see if it did it. If not, I'll read it myself. There it is. Look. Come on, Deuce. Tell your ecosystem members who you just hired and for what. Tell them before I do. Oh, no. Oh, no. Like Like I said, I've been hearing some stuff about a lawyer coming on and potentially going after some people there in ecosystem land. But I'm like, well. Now again, that to me, that sounds pretty saucy. If that's what's happening, holy moly, sir. I mean, for real. Now I know that ecosystem is dysfunctional too, so it would not surprise me. It does make me wonder, though. I mean, if they're bringing in hitters to go after one another, oh my God. Regardless, what should really disturb these folks, by the way, is the fact that when stuff comes up, that the idea, they're like, well, that could happen. That's crazy, I mean, here's the thing. The people that they're dealing with, the one thing that you know about the ecosystem is they're not friends. They are definitely not friends, and they are not friendly. You see that. You see it through their comments and more. They go out and they attack each other just like they attack anyone else. Bruce, he has been attacked by these people. He has had 2L in the gang. They came after him multiple times. Now, they tried to minimize it, but you could go in and listen to the live stream. You could go and look again. You and I here, we reviewed their live streams talking about how Bruce, he has no time for them. He got them sued and then abandoned them. That's their statements. Again, I'm paraphrasing with that, but that's what they were stating about him. He's abandoned us. It's like, wow, man. Wow. And then they tried to double down and be like, yeah, we didn't say anything bad about him. And then they said it all again. He does not have, he told us, and we saw him again with Slug. We saw him state some stuff about lawsuits, and they wouldn't get. But what's wild is, again, these are people that, like with 2L and them, he built their platform. That's got to piss him off, because he made them successful. Again, you don't have to like Bruce to acknowledge that. Like they were nothing without Bruce. And again, he has taken a lot of lumps in this game here. He has taken some big ones. Again, the document you're seeing here, Bruce gets called out. The court further finds that Bruce Manskin has engaged in communications with the court and parties in this case, including emails from the 6th of October, 7th, 9th, which constitute the unauthorized practice of law, a third-degree felony in Florida here that is referable for prosecution to the Florida Supreme Court. Wow. So all your communications that you sent, everything there, plus any documents, this is important too, those documents that had been put into the cases, anything that was on record there, and we absolutely know one of those records, we absolutely know that was stricken. Now, what's wild is, Bolitho should have had, again, I'm curious about this. This would be some interesting follow-up. There are other cases in which articles written by Manskin have popped up and they were knocked down, but they're not stricken under this. So it'll be curious if anything else pops up. By the way, too, tomorrow, there was a really interesting little doc where they tried to push in a John Doe filing into one of the other cases. We had, I very much, from everything we saw, it looks like paint chips trying to blame someone else, but it looks a lot like some paint chips work. So we'll look at that tomorrow. But in here, oh God, I mean, these people, they just interfere with cases. They do whatever. Like I said, Bruce was like, oh, I can do that. Well, you know what? Number 5 here, Bruce, he's hereby admonished for engaging in unauthorized practice of law without proper admission to the Florida Bar or Pro Hoc Vice, and is enjoined from further communications with the court until properly admitted, one way or the other. And Michelle Preston has to identify to the court all parties. So not just to the court, you have to tell Randy Shonkin as well the name of anyone not licensed to practice in Florida that has not been admitted pro hoc vice in this court. I would say, the other thing, if you have somebody, I think a clarification might need to be noted here, because she is not being represented. But if you had a licensed attorney that is still helping her draft communications and is not letting people know in the court, that's still a problem, and they're always trying to look for loopholes. That's another thing. Like, one of the smarmy things that was stated was the fact that they're always not looking for legal loopholes. They're looking for some way to spin, because a majority of the ecosystem is about spinning. It's about spinning things, and really about certain idiots trying to make money, Now, I don't, to be clear on this, I don't have a problem with people making money. I have a problem with the way these people have tried to just roll over other folks to make that money, huh? I mean, lies, lies. But what you notice under it is fear, a lot of fear, a lot of it. People have tails when they're scared. And you can tell 2L is definitely scared. 2L is scared because Preston very much went after her with law enforcement. Now, she hasn't gone far enough. Again, Preston needs to go to the feds. But right now, I think they had her in check right this moment. But you know what? Here's another thing. You all want to hear something else that's a lot of fun in this? Would you all like to hear another little tidbit that might make you, I think, kind of laugh about this? That money paying off this lawyer? The things that should keep Lynette Preston silent? Her plan, it was to play along. Her plan is to pretend, according to, we'll say, sources. You can say what sources again. But her plan was to play along all nice and everything until the protective order is done. Once she no longer needs these people, then she plans on, again, pursuing every action that she can against 2L. On top of that, she said, and others. I mean, again, you heard how easily that she goes and dumps in Bruce. There's also another part where she goes after Cook. I think since Cook wants to have his little piss fit tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and clip the portion where she talks about Cook too. I was like, again, let them guess everything that's around. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely pull that one up here. And we're definitely going to talk about that too. Where she talks about, again, Lisa talking to him every single day, patting him. And, excuse me, I was taking a drink. It was like, but patting his ego, trying to keep him on the straight and narrow there. Isn't that weird, by the way? It's all bizarre, but it's funny. So I think I'll pull that one out. Because like I said, they talk a big game. Oh, I'm going to sue, going to do this. Then fucking do it, man. Because like I said, the thing that should horrify them is the counter lawsuit will be epic. Because Lynette Preston absolutely knows that, number one, she had the communication. Number two, that there were 3 parties that were there. So there's another person that can provide proof. And obviously I recorded. So when I recorded there, I 100% noted that I was recording. It's right there in the intro. very easy peasy stuff, So for them to claim, nope, not there, that's going to be a real problem for them. But on top of it, they, like I said, they've been selling them each other out. The stuff that Lynette Preston has said about people like Cook, for example, holy crap. Not only that, the stuff that Tina overheard, they think, one of the things I think they're afraid of is Tina, because Tina overheard. She didn't just hear direct conversation. She overheard nastiness. These people, they like to yell a lot. They like to yell a lot, and they like to disrespect, treat people like garbage. That seems to be something through and through in the ecosystem. They like to yell at people. And I mean, that's another thing I think that really motivated Tina to be like, you know what? No more of this. Because, I mean, like I said, they yell. They're verbally abusive. She says all the time, again, that she noted, even in talking to me, she said, well, John's not physically abusive, but he is verbally abusive, and he was to all these other people. And she stated that he hates women. Huh. That's weird, man. It's very weird. All that stuff, Fun times, right? But let's hit some super chats, baby. I mean, this has been an incredible roller coaster. Oh, by the way, there was one other thing too I forgot to mention. Oh crap, I keep forgetting too. So in preparation for all of this, 2L brought up something that I thought was really funny. She said that she thought the bombshell that was coming was communications with only me, right? You remember all of that. Yeah, that it was about contracting work and, $250 an hour. Actually, here's the piece from it. Thank you to, God, I can't remember who posts this. Sorry, man. God, who is it? Mark? I can't remember who posts on Facebook. Post these up all the time, underlining stuff. And I catch them quite a bit. I need to give you a shout out. I need to mark. I think it is Mark. So I need to mark Mark's post and bring one up. I think that's who it is. But I may be getting the wrong person. If I'm getting the wrong person, But anyway, they note here, the bombshell. They thought it was about only me. They thought I had a email thread talking about how there were payments. Now, you remember that they told their audience that there were no communications with only me. You remember when they pulled up the emails with only me, supposedly, and they showed them, and they were like, only me's never asked or tried to message me. These are the only things that are there. You remember that, right? Because I remember it very well. Them saying in that particularly in that one live stream where they provided the screenshots of the donations, which we line up against, where we show them side to side. Well, they brought up this very limited communications, and they said that's it. That's it. There are no other ones. So that's weird. That's weird that now I'm not saying maybe I do have communications. In fact, maybe I'm putting together all kinds of mighty, freaking hammer to drop on their narrative right now. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe I have communications about that. Maybe I have communications about something much more dastardly. I don't know. Again, if I can sit on communications with Lynette Preston for, from October to December, what else will I sit on? How long? Actually, I've been sitting on some stuff for months and months, 6 months. There's other stuff even more because it has particular uses and particular moments. But they told us, like I said, they told everybody, they told the entire world there were no communications with that guy. None. Everything that they had was right there. How then would there be an entire email thread because they never showed an entire email thread. They kind of conveniently left all of that out. They said, again, they weren't communicating with him. So I just want you to remember that. You know, that's one thing that really stuck with me through this. And I thought it was an amazing admission, because not only did they admit to the existence of this thing, but they admitted that they absolutely lied about communications to their own people. How many things do you have to point out to these idiots before they think, wait a minute, maybe I'm being lied to? Again, we're not talking about opinions on a court case. We're talking about we're talking about fundamentals that deal with tens of thousands of dollars that were donated, that the person themselves that was supposed to get that, they just vanished. Poof. Everything gone. I mean, when you look at that, how much more does that take? What does it take when you have the people that are there? Again, they said that those folks are liars. Okay, well, if they're all liars and stuff, then why the fuck were you told to donate $100,000 plus to these people? And why didn't it get to them? I mean, these are some serious questions that maybe one time some of these folks will let sink into their heads. Why is there's this collection of very unsavory people that have gathered around this one thing to attack this YouTuber? Why is that? Why do you have some of the worst people out there getting together? Man. That's just, anyway, let's get to some supers. And yeah, I throw that out there because one day I hope that these people ask a question that matters. But many of them, they put in, their time, their life. And if they admit that there's a lie there, then they have to admit that they themselves were duped. And maybe not only were they scammed out of money, but they gave money to harassers and more. Wouldn't that be something? Kathy, I see Cash App there. Thank you. $25 there. Merry Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas to you too. We are getting into the weekend before. By the way, I was going to go to the store today. I was going to go down to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which Murfreesboro is a pretty happening little area. If you're down near Nashville, Tennessee, if you've ever been Murfreesboro, it's a little booming area. I like it. It's like Nashville light. Nashville, I don't like going to Nashville more and more. Nashville's crime rate is starting to go up and up. It's not Memphis. Memphis is not a good place, by the way. If you live in Memphis, but man, I wouldn't want to live around there. But Nashville's, it keeps going up. But Murfreesboro, its crime rate has started to go up too. But it's still a nicer place. I was going to go down there though, and then it occurred to me that this is the weekend before Christmas. Now, I still, if I didn't have the kids with me on that day, I for sure, just like on Black Fridays, I'll elbow my way through anything. But I'm going to see tomorrow if I am motivated to go down there, just in case. So let's hit these super chats though. Heather, thanks for the 2 there. Hi, chat. Let's have a good time. Indeed, folks. I hope, by the way, you've had a good time with it, 100%. Steve, Tug, I'm guessing you didn't get the Tennessee Tourist Bureau job. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be the person for that. I did have, this is a funny story, though. I've told this before, but I still think this is funny. I didn't know these 2 people. They were really nice people, by the way. They were from New York. And they had moved to Nashville at first. And after they moved to Nashville, they had decided they were going to buy some land. They thought it'd be good. And they found some land pretty cheap. especially since they had sold a home in New York. They had this has become a problem in Tennessee, by the way. Tennesseans being priced out of Tennessee, out of the major cities, they've been priced out. Lord, because of this influx of money from out of state. But these people, they were like, I'm going to buy some land out here. And I'm not going to note the place because I don't want to point the finger at the place there. But they pointed out, they were like, look, we just bought some land out in blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at the map and I asked them, I was like, how'd you get that? Did you buy it from the person? No, we bought it from an auction. There was this, I was looking at it all and I was thinking, somebody has just lost their property here. It's been taken from them. And this is out in Deliverance. I mean, we are talking about deep, deep, scary South, the kind of places like, I won't go. I'm a Tennessean, but I will not go there because I'm an outsider compared to that. There's places that are just, you just don't go into, Well, they bought land there. I was like, oh my God, you bought land in Deliverance country. Oh my God. And they were like, nah, that won't be any problem. Well, guess what? It was definitely a problem. They ended up, I don't remember what happened with everything, but they ended up being able to pay a fee and reverse their transaction within a certain amount of time. I don't know how they managed that, but they moved out there, and I guess it went really, really badly. But it's funny seeing some of the outsiders coming in, like it's a tourist attraction. Like you can go to like the middle of nowhere, like Deliverance. It wasn't just a movie. That in many ways that can be a tour guide. Although I can say one of the things that messes up Deliverance anymore, if you ever go out and you hear the dueling banjos, and you're like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of nowhere and they're gonna get me. They're gonna be like, where you going, city boy? You can be like, I'm going toward Walmart or Dollar General. Run for the Dollar General. There's usually one somewhere nearby. Run for it. Maybe you can probably find a pawn shop too. You'll definitely be able to find a church, probably a pawn shop, probably a place selling alcohol, and you should be able to find you a Dollar General. No matter what, in the deepest, murkiest place ever, you'll still find you a Dollar General and probably a Walmart. There'll be like one of their little centers, if not a super center somewhere close by. It's crazy, man. All right, but Heather, I hope you had a great one today. I hope reading that was everything people expected to. I mean, it has been a crazy one. Like I said, that all but concludes that case. I mean, it's toast. And what it tells you, again, they're desperately grasping on to the Trespass 5 case. But that's a garbage case, too. They've thrown in, they want to do counter filings and stuff. All that's going to do is cause more problems. And again, Lynette Preston is getting legal advice. She is from the same people that were like, hey, you should do this. Another thing that's very annoying with Lynette Preston is she will not hear reason sometimes because you think it's the ecosystem. See, well, one of the things I realize that those ecosystemers, they talked to her and convinced her of things that she would never be able to do on her own. Having said that, she's got she definitely thinks she's going to get hers. She definitely does. And my God, I did think it was really funny listening to her talk about how lazy like Lisa is. She's so lazy that they ordered a water heater. That was in that big long clip. They ordered a water heater and it was wrong. And she was like, Lisa is so lazy that instead of returning it, she was like, and just bought another one. That's why they have 2 laying around on the property. Well, because I always wonder, like, why do they have that double there? And then she was like, the toilets. Lisa just brought them by one day. Like, hey, have a toilet. Like, you can magically, like, you don't have to run any kind of plumbing or anything. Just here's a toilet. Do you need them or not? Well, doesn't matter. She just delivered them. So, and I kept thinking that's funny, but it's also a message. She's probably telling you, Lynette, gross. This place is very gross. After staying out there, it's really funny that after staying there and all the defense they did about the porta potties and the stuff, that one of the first items that she brings out there is a couple of toilets, and they weren't even asked for. Oh, what a statement. What a statement to find out. But we found out again, not in those clips, again, the fence. She talks about the fence and having receipts for the fence. And in that, it was all paid for by gift card. So not a portion. Lynette Preston, again, whom we're supposed to believe straight up. Yeah. She tells you the prices on stuff. Her 2000, you notice that they didn't try to dispute certain costs either. Lumber, for example, the lumber that they kept telling people was tens of thousands of dollars at lumber. Yeah, it turned out to be a couple of grand. You notice they haven't been disputing that. They haven't vehemently been like, oh my God, they're so wrong with that. Because those are Lynette's numbers. That's why when those numbers came up, when we were talking about them, and I was like, man, I 100% know. When 2L was saying, oh man, those numbers, they're wrong. I was like, I'll dispute them with you. I have a very good authority what they cost. The homeowners there that you told us absolutely tell the truth. I mean, these people, Lord. What's sad too? The Christmas thing. The Christmas thing is really sad when you think how many people did Jeremy Hales' original Christmas event there? How many people did that actually end up serving? It was thousands. What was it? I can't remember the exact number, but it was way out there. Now, you not only have a Christmas thing, but when you start listening to some of the people that are there, some of it sounds more like having chat infuse a little bit of money for friends and more. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, you're talking about thousands of people. So they ran off a guy that had all of this stuff going on for thousands of people. And you're not even going to do something for a handful of people. It's kind of wild, isn't it? Look at what Otter Creek and that surrounding area, look what they lost. That's a lot there. It's just wild. But anyway, let's continue there. Max Lab, thanks for such a crazy day. So many documents. Yes, indeed. There's actually, like I said, there's the Dan Owen stuff we will definitely read through for sure. It's funny because the courts, man, they will not prosecute their own. They just don't. And it's really funny seeing people who, God, I mean, when you have an element like that the ecosystem is, and they're shilling for cops and stuff, it makes you, and prosecutors, it really makes you go, when one of them starts first naming people, with talking about how they're friends like Beecham, oh, we got this relationship, it makes you go, especially when then they put them on a witness list. It really makes you go, huh. But I digress. But yeah, how could you ever take that person in that area to court and win? You couldn't. You got to remember too, judges, here's the thing about judges. Judges got to get reelected in an area. You think a judge, it's not just about going and deciding something You know, they'll say, well, yeah, I don't want to be the first one to decide on something or this or that, you know, so they'll come up with excuses to kick that can out of there, and they'll try to dismiss it with prejudice. But it'll also, you know, they stick up for their elected buddies, because in those areas, man, these people foster quite a bit of power. And the way that you have power, you maintain power with the same names. If you look at the names from Otter Creek that have ended up in many a documentary about problems in that area, you'll notice these same repeat performers. And of course, they're not going to try their own. That just doesn't happen, man. So it's funny, though, when the ecosystem is like, oh, yeah, we love the police and prosecutors. It's like, wait a minute. You know, Poppy Seed say what? But I digress. But yeah, Max, it's been an interesting one. Tomorrow we'll look at that John Doe file. Like, I thought that was something else. I also really want to look at that item from Jeremy. What was it? A day ago? That video he put up. It was really good. So I really want to go over it too. I thought it was pretty fiery. I kind of loved it. Give me a second here. Switching this over. But yeah, Max, I appreciate you, brother. Green Veggie, thanks for the follow there. Lynette, Bubba's cousin Tracy says she likes you and she can't wait to meet you. Oh, that's too funny. Fun times there, indeed, right? What's up, MXK? Well, what? By the way, what currency is that? I'm terrible with currency, like symbol wise, and I'm just curious. You know, I always love it, like when different currencies, because I try to, like, now I'm terrible about it, so I'll have to ask before. Is anybody know that right off the head? Like I said, I'm terrible with other ones. I really like to know. But thank you, my friend. Sing. Well, the sleigh bells, they're a-ringing. The bombshells, they're a-bringing. Come on to the mug show. Bombs galore, bombs galore, bombs galore. Ooh, baby. Fun times. I like that. That's good. I like it. Let those bombs fall. Indeed. It's been a heck of a show, hasn't it, too? Who's you down under? Thanks for the two there. Free the leg warmers. Leg warmer nation, gang. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's so funny. Venom, yeah, venomous venoms. Have I heard them spitting? Oh yeah. I pulled the transcript. Like I said, I didn't have enough time between shows to really mark up this one, because I really thought like today's would be fun. You know, the last few have been pretty funny. You know, because I mean, these people are feeling cornered, and you can see it. You know, things are not going their way. They're really feeling the heat there. But man, some of the things they try to, like, I still, like I said, I don't understand how they were like, well, you know, Tug talking to her, that's a third-party violation. Why? Because he works for Journey. I was like, what? First of all, what now? But second of all, how? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Third-party violation. Dude doesn't have a protective order against him. How does he violate a protective order? Oh my God, it's good times. I'm gonna get the leg warmer. Like I said, I'm in the middle of it. As I noted yesterday, I'm in the middle of a very important investigation. If anybody knows this figure here, you must let me know. My email is out there, and of course, if you reclaim them, make sure that you mail them to me, not to Megan Fox, because, well, that wouldn't be as fun. You know what would really be awful? You know, Well, what would really be awful is if something happened, like, I don't know. I was thinking about what constitutes a leg warmer. Maybe I could cut the end off a couple of socks and mail them to her. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wait a minute. No, those are leg warmers. I made them myself. I think I'm going to do that. Cut the toes off and mail them. I'm telling you, those thieves, though, look at this. See, this is what happened. I mean, this is actual footage out there. Here I am. I'm staring at the two holes in my heart, because I'm still I'm still horrified by that. Now, the holes are mending a little bit as we have the bench that never was, and again, we will have the barn that never was to join it, but not yet. It's not time yet. When that comes up, I'll let you know, and we'll get that going. We'll talk about fundoing that one if you'd like, so we can actually put up a barn mailbox. See, but while I was sitting around contemplating that, I, of course, being the loving and great endearing friend that I am, I brought with me leg warmers. I mean, look at them. Aren't they beautiful? They're beautiful, right? But unfortunately, I had so much on my mind, because this is upsetting right there, that I left it outside, as you can see from this time-lapse photo. Now, you saw the video there, but, for myself, I come back in and I'm like, wait a minute, all I can find there is just all of this crazy string. I mean, you can see it there, and it's horrible, right? I mean, they left a trail. They left a little bit of a clue. And, I was so terrified by it. I sat there all night staring at that, saying, why, God, why? I mean, really, look at this. Look. I mean, I zoomed in. I went to follow the trail. Man, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever be caught. It's terrible, isn't it? It's horrible stuff. So, I'm sorry. Yes, I want to. It's really hit me in the feels, guys. The only thing that'll fix it, super chats. That's the FATS method. Yeah. I'm really upset right now. If you can see me right now, I'm crying. Listen to all this water. Listen to it slushing around under my eyes. There's so much I'm going to drink it. Oh, man. I mean, so much water. Gosh, so many tears. I'm so upset about this leg warmer. Oh, my gosh, terrible. Puzzle. Thanks for the tear there. The denials are strong with this one. I know, aren't they? Aren't they indeed? And not your birthday. It's not still not your birthday. Yes, now I feel dehydrated, as I have drank many a salty tear. Oh, my goodness. Max had things to do there. Yes, sanctions doc. Oh, you don't have it? All right. Let me know about that. Remind me. Oh yeah, the sanctions doc is pretty good too. It's a pretty nice one. Like I said, it's when you look at it, what it really amounts to at the end of the day is these people lost. Like I said, so good filing, right? Really nice one. You gotta love it. Fallen Hero, thank you for that gifted membership there. More than that, though, like I said, my friend, all the time, thank you for being here. Some of you folks, I see every time I'm here, and it's amazing. Thank you. Something to bark about. Love it. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for the 13 months. Merry Christmas to Mug, Buck, and Luck. Well, thank you for that. I love it. And Merry Christmas to you, too. I love it. Oh, man. I pulled out I pulled out the funniest thing here. I pulled up the transcript from today, and they're like, oh my God, Dan Owens. It's like, Dan Owens probably isn't the case you want to focus on, Chubbs. They're like, oh my God. Michelle, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. Michelle has no idea. Tug's actually claiming some of this is really funny. I was reading over it, Tug's actually claiming he had a conversation with Michelle, when in reality, I heard about this last night because I didn't know about it before going live last night, but I found out last night. So basically what happened is Michelle was talking to someone else and Tug was on the other line. What's funny though? What's really good about all that? Like I said, she's admitting these are real. Like the funny thing, and she cannot have it where Michelle would talk to me. You got all of it. That is really good. Like, what a great narrative. Oh yeah, so like it was totally Tug. He was like listening in on the other line. Like I said, what they're admitting through this is that everything that is noted there is real. They're just lying about how it was procured. Isn't that funny? Oh yeah, those are real conversations. 100%. Already locked that in. I figured they would go with, those are fake communications. Nope, those are real. You gotta love it though. You gotta love it. Yeah, actually, like I said, there are 3 people on the conversation for sure, because she had an intermediary, and the intermediary offered to jump, but no, I wanted them there. I absolutely wanted them there. You know why I'd want them there, by the way? Because at the end of the day, Michelle Preston will lie. So not only do I have her being told that she's being recorded, but I have someone else there too. Somebody that at the time, well, again, they weren't someone I knew. they were somebody that had set up a meeting, and like I said, it's just so crazy. But they've admitted they're real. God, tomorrow's gonna be so fun to laugh at that. Oh, it's gonna be real fun to go through. Something to bark about though. I love your name there. I love that picture. I always do. It always makes me smile when I see it. Love it. Just Jay Hip dropped 5 gifted memberships. Yeah, I hear Jay. Jay, he won't be able to communicate with me anymore because I'm going to the slammer. Isn't that sad? Yeah, it's so sad. I know. It's okay, Jay, though. It's all right. I know we were planning on our big co-hosting gig, and actually, oh my God, I wonder if he recorded the conversations we had about Megan Fox. Oh my God. Or maybe there was a third party listening in because they were. Oh my God, we could have a lot of fun with that. God, we should have put something together like that. That would have been really funny. We could have like fake conversations about Megan Fox, and then who recorded these? Oh, Megan recorded them. She'd be like, I knew I was on the other line. You could have Jerry Springered that stuff. Oh, that would have been really fun. In the Clouds, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, In the Clouds. And it is great to see you, by the way. I hope all of you have been entertained too. I hope this has been a really interesting work all the way into the holidays. Thank you, In the Clouds, though. I appreciate you, my friend. Jack Miles, thank you for the 14 months there. Fleabag the Blowfish can flock off. She just needs to sit down and shut her chicken skin sloper. I know, indeed. Well, again, you can see the panic. Again, in the whole narrative, they give it all away. They've 100% given everything away. Now, and I love it. I love the fact that they are on the defensive so much that they've told their audience that Michelle Preston not only sold them out, but on top of that all this stuff happened. What if Michelle Preston is telling the truth? This is the one thing that they won't invite. I realize that Michelle Preston doesn't tell the truth on everything, but she did have receipts about Lisa. I mean, they do realize that, right? Oh, they don't care. But yeah, she provided, the only time she's ever provided receipts on anything was with Lisa. And you know, the ecosystem. What's funny, Lynette, is that you brought in a person that trained an audience not to want to see receipts. You know, they just they work off feelings, not facts. Absolutely. They never provide receipts. And then you're upset because they won't look at your receipts. What did you think would happen? You were okay with that, though, when that stuff was aimed at Jeremy Hales. You were totally okay with that. But when it was aimed other ways, no. You know, another thing that's funny, too, they haven't asked themselves if all these communications are going on. What did John know? Maybe John's being so obstinate because, I don't know, fill in the blank. Maybe he's talking all that smack because, well, I don't know. Huh. Is that the actions of a guilty person or a guilty conscience? I don't know. You know, a lot of people, I heard from Ray that when people protest about something, that apparently they're guilty. So does that extend to his buddy John too? Aubrey, thanks for the gifted membership there. Thank you, Aubrey. Appreciate that. Loving, by the way, the avatar there. Love it. I like how it contrasts and just pops in. That's awesome too. I like how you set that up. Looks good. Ninja Puppy, thanks for the 16 months. Wow, that's a long time. I know it is, isn't it? It's crazy when you think about. I lost track of this. We were going to have our anniversary show. You know, we've been talking about that. And the problem with having the anniversary show is we actually had a year longer than we realized. It's crazy, isn't it? Old Saga guy. Thanks for 3 months there. Oops, I didn't know. No, just saying. Fascinating. No. Yep. When you know, or do you know? No. Exactly. Well, now you know. No. In fact, if you're in the no, yeah, I guess you don't know, but you're in the no. That's amazing. It actually sounds like a bad thing, to be honest. Have you been in the no? Frisky. Fascinating. Wow. Rob, thanks for the 5 there. Careful opening your packages for a little while. Might be some baby alligators from Megan. Man, if she could do that, that'd be awesome. Actually. It's more like she'll MacGyver up her freaking her mop bot. It'll start beeping. I'll be like, what is this now? Oh, look, it's a mop. Boom. Oh my God. That's funny though. Diane, thanks for the 5 there. I wish age wouldn't have said if LP doesn't show, she would be arrested. It would have been it would have been nice, just saying. Yeah, well, if I wish are you saying would have said that she would have been? Yeah, well, you know, unfortunately, courts. What happens with the no shows? Now, a court can find you. They can force you to show up. They can do all kinds of stuff, but the best outcome is what they do. What they did was better than anything, really, because they had everything without them there. You know, like they decided to blow it off because, again, their lawyer told them they didn't have to be there. That's not a big deal. Again, they wrote and said they wouldn't be there. Their lawyer advised them not to. So they just flaunted it. Well, the court was like, you know what? They've done this before. And since they've done this before, no mercy, you know? We're not going to deal with it anymore. You have to admit that's pretty amazing, right? I love it. I absolutely love it. God, so much. This is funny. Wheat Toast, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you, Wheat Toast. Hey, look at that. Oh, is it cute, too? Look at that little cute guy. You know what? You need to make a little keychain out of it. You know, one of those little keychain avatar. Apparently, see, okay, so if you want to make keychains, by the way, I've made an army of them. Look at all these. I've been making them move now. Check these out. But under ChatGPT, they have a command. If you click into images, there are some pre-commands. and one of them is for keychains. But look, I've been making them move. I like this one. I thought this one was cool with the little turtles. I like the little chicken skin one too. He's like, yummy. He's eating them little KFC. I really would like one of these. I think that would be funny to make some of those. But look at that. Aren't they nice? I think these would be fun to make. I need somebody that 3D prints them up. I would like this one. I think that one's cool. And I think the little chicken skin ones, but maybe with a Santa hat would be funny. You know, I think that would be really awesome. Oh, wheat toast, man, though. Appreciate you. I really like to see yours, though, with a little keychain. I think it'd be cute. Just Jay, thanks, Bob. I'm trying to pull the team together over here. It's hard. I know, man. I know. I imagine, like, if anybody could get the Antis back on track, it'd be Jay, you know? Because Jay, he's an empire wrecker, you know? He could brain down somebody's empire. You heard about that, right? So, if anybody could do it, man, I have faith in you, Jay. William, thanks for the vibe. I'm convinced Deuce Foreskin intended to hang this case on LP and Stark. He kept up on all cases. There's no excuse for the safe harbor to be missed. Indeed, if you're going to just dump it and go, like, what in the heck are you thinking there? Because they didn't do anything with the case. You know, they filed it. Well, what they did is they cost other people money. And they used it as a threat. Oh, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble. And they kept doing this crap, right? But at the end of the day, what they said was their plan was they were going to go move it to another court. I mean, it's ridiculous stuff, right? Hold on one second. But at the end of the day, they did nothing with it. They just let it sit. Let it fester. They wouldn't turn over LP. They wouldn't turn over anything as far as discovery. Again, what was the point in that if not to cause LP issues? I mean, what other purpose does that have? Because that is such a blunder at its level that you have to be like what lawyer makes that mistake? Again, could I see a lawyer being, you know, that maybe, sure. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, is LP being set up for, I mean, she's going to take a massive fall on this. This document alone should worry her because they're like, hey, when you get through with your bankruptcy, yeah, we're going to have a hearing and we're going to talk about how much money you owe because of this stuff. That should worry her. She should be looking at this going, wait a minute. What now? I mean, the bankruptcy definitely has not gone her way. You look at this stuff. She has a spin team out there. You know, they spin and spin and spin and spin. But the reality is that that's not gone her way. The protective order is going to be really ugly for her. Again, it's going to go a lot worse. I mean, she should, by the way, she should probably tell her team over there that she did talk about her meetings with Beecham. She should probably tell her lawyer about that. She should probably also tell her lawyer about how her star witness there that's been feeding her information and it runs that show every night and shows those videos and stuff. She called her again a liar and a fraud and all kinds of other stuff and tried to put her in jail. That would be a fun one to tell. I mean, again, this stuff is going to go real bad, you know? Oh yeah. You know, the neighbors, Brian and Tina. Hey, that Tina, not the Tina, not the Tina where I'm going to say neighbor Tina. That'd be the easiest way. I'm going to call her OC Tina, you know, Otter Creek Tina, right? OC Tina. What do you think's been said about you? I mean, these folks, they pretend again to be pals and everything else, but the kind of stuff that's there, holy man, you know? Oh my God. Here's the third party thing, by the way. Listen to this. They explain this, what this even means. I don't even understand how this works. So here's what the Fats said. So Tug's crap that he put up last night's no bombshell. It's nothing new. All he pointed out was a couple of things that he said, which are funny. He took part, let me say, in third party. That's what he did actually, is third party. Yeah, here it is with third party communications because he works for Jeremy. That's what's wrong here. What does that even mean? What does that mean? How do you have third party communications? Holy shit. How in the world? I mean, the only person that can have third party communications is the person that has a protective order against them. Oh my God. What is that? My God, I don't think I would ever read this whole thing. I think I'm gonna freaking laugh myself to death. Oh my God, that's so funny. She's like, oh well. Also, she found out about the call, and she found out that all the stuff, it was actually Tina. So she admits Tina also was talking to Preston, which is great. I love the admissions there. Like I said, we'll cover all that tomorrow. I just been reading through it and I'm like, oh my God, this is the dumbest thing ever. I think I'll title something tomorrow since John Cooks keeps saying he's going to sue me. I guess we'll talk about that. We'll make that a topic. That'll be real fun. You know, I get to break out my my John Cook sue me shirt. That'll be great. I haven't gotten to break that out in a while, you know. I wonder if it's still up here. Give me a second. Let's see. I mean, we definitely have the so sue me's, but no, I'll have to break it back out. Huh. It's been a minute. I didn't know if I'd get to break that back out. So that's fun. You know, it's really fun too. He also said in the messages that he threw out there that now he has a case. Wait a minute, you've been threatening to sue for a while. Are you telling us that all those things that you said back when were just bogus threats, but now you think you've gone? What an idiot. I love it. I love it. So they're telling you, well, they never had anything before. Well, I hate to tell you, but oh, like I said, I'm not going to give it to you for free. I'm going to make you pay a lot of money to see where I tell the LP that. And it's going to be glorious. Oh my God. They're so dumb. Oh, they're so dumb. William, though. Yeah. I wonder about all that. I do. The safe harbor thing makes no sense to me. Now, something to bark about. Thanks for the tip. Hey, Tug, my channel hit 109 today. Thanks for the help. You know what? I like something to bark about. Let's see something here. Give me a minute. You know, let me throw this up here. Give me a second. Just give me 1 second. Something to bark about. I like that. Yeah, see, you got 109 there. So let's do something. You know, something to bark about has a cute freaking, they have a freaking cute setup. They got dogs on there. Let me show it to you real quick. And I'll drop a link to it too. I think it'll be fun. If you want something just to go enjoy, you know, put a little joy in your life. I think it's cute. Let me put the link here and I'll show it to you real fast. I do like having something like just fun sometimes, you know. This is fun to me, but you know what I mean. You know, there's there's somebody enjoying their passions out there. And gosh, it does not want to. It doesn't want to pin though. So I threw it up there in the thing, but I'm going to show it to you real fast. Okay. So here, something to bark about. Look, isn't that nice? Looks like a nice place to just chill out, you know. Check out the old doggos. They're cute. You have fun there. As you notice, I am subscribed. So go and check that out. Joe was subscribed and got unsubscribed and subscribed again. That's a weird thing with YouTube. You have to remind people to be like, hey, make sure you're still subscribed to me. But yes, go and check them out for sure. There's a link in the description. I tried to pin it. I could not get it to pin though. You know, but it's in the chat. Oh, there it is. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Again, I like it. It's cute there. But also, I support your endeavor. I hope you do exceedingly well. There are a lot of people out there that are building up their things. You know, Max Lab, by the way, has been looking for watch time. You know, watch time is one of those things. You know, it comes in thousands of hours. So when you're looking at documents, it takes a minute to build those up. Oh, that's the one thing. If you like channels, if you like what they do, give them watch time too. Not Your Average Explorer dropped a super sticker on us. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Well, I said, man, thank you. I shouldn't. Bad habits, bro and man, are terrible habits for speaking. Thank you for the super sticker there, and I much appreciate that. Thank you. I love them because, like I said, the kids. Every time I say this, the kids, I get to show them to them. Andre, thanks for the 2. HG, taken into custody after the shitstorm. Oh man, one of the things too. Lord. Lord. Oh my God. There's something I need to clip. I forgot. Lisa, you know what LP accuses you of on tape? Huh. She accuses you of sending CPS to her home. That's right. I forgot about that. Let me pull that sucker. I need that one. You know, which is an amazing admission because they say that Jeremy Hales did this repeatedly, but she says that her star witness over here sent CPS to her home. I need to get, let's see, pull audio for LP accusing 2L of CPS. Isn't that interesting? Got that on tape too. I forgot about that. Glad that made me think about it. Lizzie, thanks for the 4 months. It's my birthday. Yes, of course, Lizzie. That's awesome. I love it. I love it when we get to celebrate birthday. I don't think I had a birthday yesterday to celebrate. So let's bust this one up. It's about time, and I love it. Thank you.
Happy birthday!
Woo!
From both of us to you.
All of us.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday! We love to have you here. Happy birthday! Here's to another year.
Man, happy birthday to you for real too. I love celebrating birthdays with you folks. You know, I love it. I love that we have those so much. It's good times. I hope you've had a great one too. I hope you enjoyed that as well. Cynic, thanks for the 2. It means more lip smacking than a street. Oh my God, that's kind of funny. William, thanks for the 5. ZLP been posting since the bombshell. Yes, she's posting religious quotes, by the way. You know, I don't keep up with her misdirection and batshit crazy streams of consciousness. Yeah, so she's been posting religious quotes. Like I said, let's see. There's been a bunch of those. I haven't even looked at most of them, but again, there's no shot at having faith, but the last bastion of the terrible is also faith. You know, they use that 2 hours ago. Galatians 6:9. Let us not be weary in doing good. For at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Waiting is never wasted. Like, again, it's crazy because we hear about fighting battles and this person wishing people to hell also, that comes up as well. Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, how true this is. Beware in your life of those who claim to love Hod. Who's Hod? Who's Hod? I've never met anybody that was like, hey, man, do you love Hod and hate sin? Oh, my God. That's so good. You'd be better off like writing, do you love Todd or something? Love Hod. I gotta make a clip of that one. Oh my Lord, I need a coffee cup that says, do you love Hod? Oh my goodness. But look, Satan had the power to convince angels to rebel in heaven. Don't think he can deceive you on earth. Stay alert and rooted in truth. But Hod, and yet you act a totally different way. Looks are almost always deceiving. Oh, how I'm learning this valuable lesson. Yeah, Yep. Everybody's the devil and shit. Again, terrible. Like I said, the stuff that this person engages in. But everyone else is the devil. I'm going to phone in my complaint to Hod. I did change my... oh my God. I need to change my avatar name. Let's see. Give me a second. Avatar, 1 minute. Hod's little helper. Hod. There we go. That's what I mean. Hod's little helper. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? I swear, sometimes when you see this stuff, you think, this can't be real, right? This can't be real, but it is. Strange little badger. Thanks for the 2. Past midnight here in the UK. So now it's my birthday. Boom! Look at that. 2 birthdays, too. Heck yeah.
Happy birthday!
Birthday. Heck.
From both of us to you. Happy birthday! May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday! We love to have you here. Happy birthday! Here's to another year.
A million years. Heck yeah. You know what? People are awesome, by the way. I love it. I love that we get to engage in each other's like the big memorial moments, these fleeting moments we get that are important, and we can share together. We can laugh, we can point at stupid people, and while we're doing it, we can also get to know some of the greatest people out there too. So props to you folks. Bonnie, thanks for the 2. Reminder about the Ohio case. Yes, that's what it was. I'm glad you noted that, by the way, because when I was talking about it, like I said, the witness list becomes a lot more interesting when you hear them from LP's viewpoint. I mean, the stuff, like I said, that she told a person she talked to all the time. I can't believe if these people heard what she said about them, none of them would show up. None of them. It's wild. And they don't deny. What's amazing is they don't deny any of the communications. In fact, I love it because instead of taking another route, they tried to blame the discussions there with Tina with listening in. But again, they admit they're real. Like, I love that. They're like, it's nothing new. It's nothing new that they tried to put your fat ass in jail. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. That's nothing new, man. I love that. I do. I absolutely love that. I mean, like I said, I posted one of those on Facebook. It's the one that they're talking about, and they're saying, "Well, there's nothing new in that." Really? I mean, you're telling people to pick up money for Michelle Preston after trying to put you in jail? That's really funny. I don't think so. I don't think you would ever do that. Check this out, though. I ran it through CapCut, by the way. I ran those messages so you can actually see, too, this one here. Look, it actually added subtitles to it, and it did a really good job. Thank you, Bonnie, by the way. Appreciate you. But it actually adds really good subtitles. Check these out. You don't even have to hear it well. What have you talked to so far, law enforcement wise? What have you done so far?
I talked to Beecham, but the day I called Beecham, he told me, he said, well, Lisa was already here. I said, what do you mean Lisa was there? He said, she came here or called or whatever. She's already been here and said that your permit expired and that she could no longer do anything because you can't do work on a house without a permit. And I told I have a very good rapport with him. And he said, well, do you have that proof? And I said, yep, I have that proof. So I have been, okay, I gotta watch what I say. I have given that information to someone I am working with on that and other things. So I did turn her in.
So yeah, someone I'm working with. Boy, I don't remember hearing about that stuff. Do you? Do you remember that being old hat? That, yeah, we know she tried to report to the police. Did you realize that in this that she's working with, and it's not Tina that she's talking about, by the way, because Tina is right there. So she's talking about somebody else. She can't let the proverbial cat out of the bag. She's working with someone else trying to put the 2XL in jail. Isn't that interesting? Huh. But yeah, that's old hat. All right. Yeah, with Ohio, though, I mean, she again, she had a lot to say about her witnesses, didn't she? Rob, we'll go through, like, we'll have a good talk about some of that stuff. I got to go mark that transcript up, though, so we can really laugh at it. Rob takes 5. I'm the only one who tends to mail BBB and paint chips into one person and forget which. Now, actually, for me, I don't have that issue for myself personally. Now, I could see how that could happen with people, like for many of these players, but with BBB, he's his own player in my mind, you know. Now, I do meld sometimes Volmit and his partner into one person. I don't confuse the two, but sometimes I confuse their deeds. Although, you know, some of the more extreme nastiness and pettiness, yeah, when it comes up, if they're extreme pettiness, like in a courtroom or something, okay. But if it's extreme pettiness online, I'm like, yeah, paint chips. But for me, I guess it's where I see them at a lot more doing stuff. I haven't had it, but I could see how that could happen for sure. I can see melding a lot of these people into one person, you know. But oh man, what a mess. It's bad when you're confusing people like that from others. Naughty Pirate thinks Bruce is one crackerjack lawyer. I know, it's amazing, isn't he? He's amazing. I love that. Monica thanks for the vibe. Did you get my email? I'm not sure. Can you bump that email just to make sure that I did see it? Can you write? Do you know what I mean? Forward it or something and just write bump, and it'll pop it to the top of my list, and I'll know if I saw it, then good. And if I didn't, then also I will see it. And so either way, it works out. So I can't say, and that's not to be you know, that's not to be elusive on this. I just, God, I get a lot of emails, you know, and God, I forgot to show you all the harassment email, man. I keep forgetting about that one. Lord, you guys, you got to see that one. That one is so nutty. Don't let me forget about that this weekend too. If you all remind me, I've got to clip that one. You know, I'm not saying that has anything to do with you, by the way. I'm just saying it made me think about emails I needed to bring up. That's one because you know, people write under those anonymous filter accounts, but somebody when they were doing that accidentally wrote under another account and it put a name to it. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. Jack's mom, thanks for the do. Gotta love the neener moments going on. I do, you know, and I love the petty I told you so moments sometimes. You know, I really do. Like with these people, I don't really mean that for. I'm getting to the point where I kind of mean that for some of the ecosystem listeners who don't listen and just allow themselves to perpetually be scammed and lied to. It's like, man, if you've been around for a long time, if you listen to idiots like Marla, for example, holy God, she was, while I'm reading this thing, I'm seeing Marla talking about how the judge heard her reasoning for not being there and was like, oh yeah, that's a good reason, you know, while at the same time I'm reading this I'm like, that never happened, Marla, that's a lie. And I know, you know, maybe you're hearing it from your pal that you say drops by in JC, but you're definitely not hearing it from LP because she's like, you're trash, you know. She definitely doesn't like you, Marla. She definitely does not like you or respect you. It's amazing. Oh, Sugaga, thanks for the 5 there for security to get Megan's leg warmer safely delivered. I know you gotta watch that. Gotta watch out for those bench thieves, you know. Just saying. I'm telling you, you're right. You know, again, if they'll rip 2 items out of the ground that are concreted in, you know they'll take out a box of leg warmers. You got to watch that. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous world out there. That's right. That's why, you know, it's taking so long to deliver that stuff. Really, here's the real legit for it, I'll tell you. I wanted to make sure that it got there, you know. So I've been watching out for it, you know, because well, it's a scary world. And can you imagine the fats drinking out of a cup with Megan's face on it? It may be like, no, wearing their leg warmers on their pinky toes. Terrible world. Puzzler, thanks for the 5 there. People who lie, cheat, and steal assume others do it too. That's true. It's their worldview. Terrible way to live. That's true. You know, it's true. Especially the people who do it so much, they can't even remember like what the narrative is and what they're supposed to tell you anymore. That's what amazes me, you know. That's absolutely what amazes me with these people. Once I got to clear my throat. This weather change is murdering. You can hear my voice go out every now and then. It's not it's nothing but the weather change. It is rough out here. We've had a warm up, you know. We had the middle of freezing cold here. Then it warms up a little bit. It rains. And now it's starting to drop again. So it's like, oh my God. But yes, Puzzler, that is actually a very, very clear viewpoint of a lot of these folks. Rob, thanks for the 10. It's the Florida Supreme Court. I've seen the highest court, judge, jury, and appeals court executioner. Lawyers are prosecuted. Was it appealable to federal appeals court under due rights appeal? What's going to happen with all of that is, I'm sure what we're going to see is the bar get involved. The bar is who they should fear right now. Now, as far as prosecutors, you know, that stuff can also be referred to a prosecutor and more. We'll see where that stuff goes. You know, like they said, a 3rd-degree felony. But the real meat and potatoes is going to be what the bar does. And the bar, you know, for some people, I think, well, the bar, they're not gonna take it that far terribly, these people. But we're talking about a guy that he seemed to pride himself on, trashing these folks and going after them and more. So after a certain point, you have to wonder, you have to wonder, will they come down and absolutely just devastate and wreck him? So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm curious how that will be. Jack Small, thanks too. Please go to the post office tomorrow. Okay. Absolutely. Thank you too, Jack Small. I appreciate you. I do. I very much appreciate you for sure. Puzzle. Thanks too. As requested, yes, about the Ohio case. Thank you too. I appreciate that. I appreciate the reminders when I asked. You all did remind me. Thank you. Strange little badger. Yeah, sound like I'm getting cold. Yeah, I'm stopped up. You can hear, like when I was fake crying, you can hear it. I'm stopped up a bit. But unless I can't speak, I usually do not stop live streaming. If I lose my voice, what's funny is if you go back far enough, though, you'll find videos where I've lost my voice and everything. I'll just keep going. I don't care. As long as I can speak, I'll keep going. It may not be the most comfortable live streams, but it's fun. I love it. But thank you for that. I like I said, I've been losing that. Oh, Rio, baby. So you can hear me. I lost my voice for a second there. Again, 1 second, clear. I recall a drug campaign with the fried egg. Oh yeah, this is your brain. This is your. This is your brain on ecosystem. Any questions? Indeed. That's what it feels like. Oh, that's funny though. I like it. Rio baby. Cajun Bayou Queen. Thanks for the vibe there. The bench needs to be inside a shed with no heat, no AC, no front door. You know what? The bench, it needs to be inside a shed. Imagine this shed with me, right? You've started it. There's no heat, no AC, no front doors, no ceiling, no walls, no foundation. Kind of like the bench that never was. The only problem is the shed was real. I would be like, we created the shit that never was. But the shed was absolutely real. Because certain people abandoned a child there while they sit on the stream, and they talked about how great and good and how they look out for families and shit. It was amazing to see. Rosalind, what's up, Rosalind? By the way, Rosalind does some amazing work too. I don't give her enough shout outs, I don't think. And I think she deserves a lot more there. She does not just good work on channel, but man, research wise and stuff. You'd be shocked by how much work some people like put into everything they do. So props there. There are a few people like I like it when people are neurotic like me. It makes it a lot fun. A lot more fun. By the way, I want to shout out again. I've noticed about 50 subscribers have gone over to Something to Bark About. So again, check them out. It's free to go check out too. I think it's something, again, relaxing. I know there's a lot of people out there, they enjoy their pets. So again, go check it out. See if it's for you, and you might have fun with it for sure. It's also something a little different, but that's actually good. It's a good thing these days, man. Rosalind, though, appreciate you. Wife Duck, thanks. There. Like, oh yeah, there's snakes. These guys, they're not leg warmers. Yeah. Well, like I said, they're self-applying though. That's actually, if you think about it, like the snake, it'll wrap around your leg. It's self-applying, and it's cold at first. Granted, it's cold at first, but you get used to it. And the snake will cling to you. Not because you're food, because it's a small bandy king snake. You know, it doesn't see you as food. You're way too big, but it does see you as a nice warm object. It's like, ooh, comfortable. Like right now, actually, I'm watching it. I've got it set up in an aquarium, like right across from where I broadcast, and I love watching it because they like to. It's funny to watch them. They dig. They tunnel and everything else, and it's fascinating to watch how they work out things. How they decide like to get around an area, especially if it's theirs. If you ever go out in your yard and you see a little round hole and you're like, well, I don't think that's big enough for a snake. Yeah, it might be. And it's really weird. Like I said, in an aquarium, you see they tunnel that thing up so much. They have places where they can get into the ground everywhere. But I like his aquarium and it is a male, but I like his aquarium because he's got a mech, those tanks that have legs, spider tank. He has like an old busted down spider tank is like, that's where he lives. He lives under it and inside of it, which looks kind of cool. He lounges on it and stuff. And then he has a hideaway rock, it looks like a rock face, but it's got like a little cave tunnel inside and he can climb inside, and it's got like netting where it's blacked out. So he feels safe if he's in there, but I can see and make sure he's good to go. But it looks cool. I like it. Have I seen Miyagi's? Thank you, first of all. SF thanks for 5. I've seen Miyagi's newest video. She's released at Christmas. I've not yet. That's got to be funny. Miyagi's pretty funny too. Miyagi's a lot of fun with that. Strange Little Badger, thanks for 5. Did you show Lug the mini dragon I posted your page the other day? So cute. Oh yeah, that thing was cool, by the way. I like that. I did indeed, I did. That thing was awesome looking. I've owned a few different types of lizards. She owns one right now. Wow, but I own my favorite was a little water dragon, and he belonged to these people that they used to, let's just say they used to puff pass around him a lot. And that's not supposed to really mess with lizards, but you could tell it fried his little brain. They may have given him something else, who knows? But it was the craziest thing. He would have days where he'd be lazy, and then like all of a sudden he'd get these energy bursts. He'd just run around the tank like a nut, and he'd bounce off the walls and stuff. And if you take him, and set him on the ground, like outside of his tank, he'd run in circles around the room. It's the little nuttiest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, that thing was cool. Like I thought that was awesome looking. Thank you for posting that too. Tizzy the Bounce dropped not 1 but 2 giftos. Man, Tizzy, thank you for that. Appreciate you. And appreciate, again, the last video that Tizzy put up was really funny. I really like that. So thank you there. Mama Cat, thanks for the I was wondering if you received the package I sent you. Write me and make sure I know which one. So a couple of packages hit. Actually, 3 hit. There was a giant package that arrived, and there were 2. Again, not to compare. I'm just saying one of them weighed like 5 tons, and it was amazing. It was crazy. And God, you folks are awesome, like I say too. So if you would write me, please. And also, I like it when people write me so I can tell you thank you personally. Like I can write you. If for some reason, if you've sent something and you've ever written me and I've not written you back, by the way, that means I did not see your email to thank you, because I like being able to personally thank people for stuff, because again, a lot of times packages will hit at a great time, and they have the power. It's amazing that people can have the power to change your day just by sending you something in the mail. You could have an off day and then bam, so let me know, and I'll confirm that. And again, I'd like to thank you too. Art, thanks for that 8 there, the leg warmers in the auction. Oh my goodness. Yeah. For real, like again, The leg warmers, they definitely, somebody made them. So I would never disrespect a person there. And I've had a lot going on in life. That's one of the reasons with certain things as, let me, how do I say this? When things are in the home with certain things going on in life, I things had to stay here for a little while, but now they can start leaving again. Let's say it that way. All right. I'm being very vague in the way I'm saying that, but due to personal things, certain things had to hang around a little bit longer than they should have. But yeah, people put work into those. So otherwise I would have a lot of fun with them, you know. But if people sent something, you know, it's part of a joke. Like if you send some leg warmers and you make that clear, hey, these are to joke around and mess with Megan with. God, I'd do God knows what with them. You know? But with people in their actual work with stuff, I don't want to be don't want to be disrespectful. That again, you know, Megan's joking, I'm joking, and everybody, you know, I appreciate. I can see the effort people put into stuff, but beyond that, oh my God, it's been really funny. It's stuff will go there for sure, you know, but we have to have laughs first. Venomous Venoms. Thanks for the 2 there. I have a secret recording of Rosalind. Shh. Oh my goodness. You know, well, I know you do because you know what? I was listening on the 3rd line. Ding, ding, ding. I'm listening on every line. Puzzler. Thanks for the 5. Megan is so short. One small ankle sock can be used to make 2 heavy warmers. Mine maybe for sure, you know. I got a size 14 boat, you know. I'll take it. You might be able to like wear it as a hat. Rio Riot, thanks for the 2. Mark has 3 3D printers. Just contact him. Huh. Yeah, that's true. He could. Oh man, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. I will do that. I will. I will do that. I mean, like I said, I like those freaking those little figures. I'd love to just see a couple of those in keychain form, just to have a laugh out of them. I know, if nothing else. Man, I look at that stuff though. I think, man, I wish there was an easy way to distribute those things, you know? You remember when, like, you could, the only time that buying something, like I would go on something like a Chinese site and buy 100 of something on a whim, you know? You could buy something like $50, you know, it's so cheap. And then now you can. But before it was really funny. You could buy stuff as a joke and, you know, give them away or, you know, just do whatever. But now, not so much. JC, thanks for the 2. I thought, I'm a supermodel, claimed to be a lawyer. Yeah, I thought that too, you know. But at the same time, from what I understand, according to sources, I'm a supermodel relies on a little thing we call AI. Maybe shouldn't rely on it that much. Maybe that's why they're talking about changing up the tactics. Because even though we all know they're using AI, now we know. Fun times, right? Yeah. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that membership and welcome to Tug's Thugs. Thank you for that. And that is very much appreciated. Thank you. I love being able to say that too. So, Rhea Raya, thanks to the 2. Hod is the patron saint of bricklayers. It sounds like the husband of the patron saint of homeowners associations, you know? Yeah. Why go when you piss off the HOA, they call in the HOD? What? No. I love it. Proposal Puzzler, thanks for the 2. Hod is the deity of typos. Hey, that's actually fun. I wonder. Let's see. Give me a second. I need a shirt put on a. Give me 1 second. First of all, let's see. ChatGPT. I needed to make something funny. All right. I want you to make a funny character of a deity named Hod. He's the deity over Tebes. You know what? The way I type, I would be worshiping Hod then for sure on accident. As badly as I type stuff sometimes. AJ Stone, thank you. Hey, what's up, AJ Stone, by the way? Appreciate you. It's good to see you. 34 months, dude. That's wild. Almost 3 years there. AJ, though, it's great to see you. Howdy, folks. Happy holidays. Well, howdy to you, too. Appreciate you as well. Monica sent that. Okay, thank you. I'll check it right when I get out of here. Okay, and thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let's see, hey, Christine. Oh, hey, Denise. Birthday wishes. Let's bust you out a birthday song.
Happy birthday!
Heck yeah.
From both of us to you. Happy birthday! May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday! We love to have you here. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Here's to another year.
Heck yeah. Love it. Happy birthday to you. I love it. I love being able to celebrate it. Like I said, it's great. Can you believe Christmas is next week? Can you believe that? Isn't that wild? I mean, it feels like it's just come out. Does it not? It feels like it's come out of the blue, doesn't it? So crazy. Man, by the way, there have been a lot of people in chat today. Wow. You know, the last few live streams have been bangers, by the way. We told you, you know, they said, I was laughing about, you know, some people calling, like saying some of this stuff is not bombshell activity. And then I ran across a couple of the people that had posted that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I see who. I see why. Man, those are antis, dude. They really give themselves away, you know, especially. Because what else can you have? You got court wins. You have epic betrayals. you have people like that know what's happening. I mean, it's funny to have the epic ecosystemers betraying each other. Then you have them burning the people that they confide in, and those people being like, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm not dealing with it. I love it. God, I love that stuff. Man, Tina's gonna be fun to talk to, by the way. Y'all enjoy it. Y'all have a lot of fun there. I can't wait. But Kelly, thank you for 15 months. That's amazing. Hope y'all have a Merry Christmas. Indeed. I hope you do too. You know, I know with the holidays coming up, I know some people you'll be out with family and doing your thing, and that's cool. Do your thing. Make time for fam for sure. We'll be here still. I will be going into the holiday now again. Most like the family, they've toned down at night. You know, they're getting ready to go to bed. So I stream late enough that it works out for me. It won't cut into anything, and it'll be fun. And you guys, again, I want to make time for you guys because you folks, y'all are family too. And AJ, what's up? Thank you for the 10 giftos there. Thank you, AJ. That is amazing too. And much appreciated. I love it. I love watching those plans. It is the season for gifted memberships. It's a lot of fun there. 1 minute. I'm making sure that trying to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Wait. Oh yeah, man, how did I let's see. Oh yeah, Nancy, by the way, thank you for the 25 too. I see that from Vidmo. I almost missed that one. I apologize. And it's not the note. There's a notification that comes up, and it was right there in front of me. But you know what? The Venmos, PayPal, and stuff. I really appreciate those, especially this time of year, because I can just transfer them and use them. You know, so thank you for that too. And I've been able to take the kids out and do stuff. It's been a lot of fun, like in the immediate. But appeals courts, it says, should get more attention on the corruption of justice in Levy County. The longer it drags on, may be good. Yeah, indeed. You know, the discussion, corruption should bother people too. Ultimately, like I said, I realize that ecosystemers want to make this about Jeremy Hales versus, but it should disturb everyone out there that has ever had a protective order. When you look at what these people did, and then you look at the fact that someone like Dan Owen can come in, can poison the well. They can be like, yay, you know what? And I very much firmly believe that he did not turn over everything. I believe that he is still sitting on a communication. If you read that police report, I do not believe that's the only communication. I believe one of the things that they want to shut down really quickly is discovery. You know, when you think too, all these freaking people are buddies, pals. Justice is very difficult to get in that, but it should disturb everyone. If you've ever had a protective order, you have somebody pull up around, like eyeballing you and everything else. Again, if it should bother them, especially you have John Cook menacing someone. He absolutely knows who they are. He sees them there. He stares at them. Then he tells LP. LP doesn't go inside. Instead, chooses the camera. Chooses to record them. It's all on footage. It's 100% fact checkable. And that should disturb everyone there. Because that could be you one day. You know? And what's up, kiddo?
Hey.
What you doing?
Oh, just playing my games as usual.
As usual. You want to say hey?
Hey.
Yeah. Are you dancing a little bit?
Yeah.
You doing your cute dance?
Yes, and I'm playing one of my favorite games. You know why?
Why is that? Oh yeah, 'cause it's cool. Oh yeah, it looks cute.
And I can cook
Is
stuff.
your is that on? How much charge does that have? Is it low? Is that why it's so dark, or you just have it on? Is that too dark for you? Do you want it brighter?
It's at 4%.
Oh, it's about to die on you. That's why it's dark. I thought, man, that's really light. Hey, come here. You want to talk for a minute? Come here.
Hey.
Yeah. And then,
idea.
yeah, we all know who you are, ma'am. Everybody knows who you are, little cute lady. Yep.
Yeah.
They call you Bug, you know, which would be the big umbrella girl, right?
Yeah.
'Cause you got from baby to big, right?
You could call Sissy Bug like a bug because I love bugs.
She does love them, doesn't she?
Yes, you can call her Bug,
Mhm.
but you can call me Big Umbrella Girl.
Big umbrella girl, yeah, that's a cute name, right?
Yeah.
And what do you think? What happens next week? First of all, what holiday is coming up?
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. It is. What was that thing you asked for again? What was it?
Play-Doh and Legos.
Well, yeah, of course. You asked for Play-Doh.
Why is that has yellow in it? That's my yellow.
What have yellow in it? This? Oh yeah, I'm trying to link up for a redirect. You know, but
And it's yellow. It's
yeah,
yellow.
see that? It's cute, huh?
Yeah, and the picture was it had yellow too.
Yeah, we're gonna redirect to this guy called Just J Hip.
Okay.
Yeah, can you come over here and say we're gonna redirect to the Pear Say lawyer?
But I'll be back to the piece I want you.
The Pear Say lawyer. That's right. Hey, be careful! You'll fall on your face.
I'm okay.
You won't be okay when you fall on your face. You got a giant bruise on your side where you fell on, and yeah,
That was at church.
I know, but that came from the other day too. That's 2 days. That's also where you fell. What were you doing that day?
We're at church
Yeah.
someone saw Sissy's penny and had suicide socks because they put it down. And then we fell
like a chicken. What?
chicken nugget, you know.
Like a chicken nugget? No, I've
they're like
never.
fall, like fall
Yeah.
in the bag.
Yeah. Oh, they fall in the bag. Yeah. Well, you also fell. Remember what did you do the time before that? How did you get the big bruise the first time?
Oh, that's the story. But as soon as I stopped and I was going to get the corner like the penny,
Mm-hmm.
I fell.
Yeah. So you were trying to hook some money up?
Yes, and then I fell like as soon as I stopped. Like,
yeah, you hear that. So
like the wind pushed me. Like the wind pushed me or something.
Oh, the wind pushed you? Yeah,
because I didn't even move. I was
man.
solid.
Man, that's some really dangerous wind out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
it's cold. Maybe the cold blew me.
No, the cold blew you over? Oh, man.
Yeah, because I was sitting down like a rock.
Yeah, you were sitting like a rock, huh?
No, standing down.
Oh, standing like a rock. My bad.
And I was literally crying when I got this.
Yeah, that's a nasty little bruise, girl.
If you don't see this, then...
Yeah, I'm not going to show anybody that. But it's big. It's about as big as the palm of my hand. That was a heck of a bruise. But you're tough, huh?
Yeah, but I cried a little.
Yeah, it's okay to cry a little bit. You can let it out right when you get hurt, right?
Yeah.
But then you got over it and you're like, I'm good, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, sometimes, hey, you're going to fall right through there. There's too much stuff right there. All right. Well, hey, come here, give me a hug.
I jumped over the pants.
I've only got a couple more things to read.
I jumped over the pants, though.
You really? Are you going to watch a movie tonight?
With who? With Mom?
I have no idea who you're going to watch a movie with.
We always watch a movie together.
Are you going to watch a movie with me?
Yes. It's Krampus.
Krampus? You want to watch Krampus? What?
The Krampus movie that we saw?
Yeah, I know what that movie is. I thought you hated Krampus.
Only if it's in movies.
Wait, you like him only in movies? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You don't
because
like
I don't like Christmas. Krampus look at me. I will throw him anywhere, even in the garbage can.
We had a little.
I'll throw him in the garbage can if I could.
Yeah, we had a little toy stuffed Krampus, right? A little mini one. And her sissy told her that Krampus is he's the thing that watches bad kids and Santa, and then he'll come and he's mean and who knows what she told her. But she
and I'm gonna throw him in the trash can.
So then she put a stuffed Krampus in her room on her windowsill. And when she would see the bugger, she would grab it and throw it in a closet or something.
And then in the closet, down go for the trash can.
Yeah, but she throw
I throw it in the living room, and then I go for the garbage can.
She would hide it, and her sissy would find it and put it back on her windowsill.
And I'm gonna throw that thing away. I'm gonna throw that thing away. And wait for trash day, and then put him in the stack.
Yeah.
When Gigi comes over.
They would just mess with each other, though.
No.
And
I'll actually throw him in the trash can if I could.
Yeah. Well, that was funny. But here, give me a hug. I got to finish this. So, go upstairs for a minute. I'm almost done. Okay. I've only got like one or two, but you got to go upstairs.
One or two? I think one or two. I think it's
I don't
two.
know. I don't have that many left, though. If you go upstairs, I'll be finished in just a minute.
Two.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe it's two. We'll see.
Can
Actually, come here. You want to sing a birthday song with me?
Okay.
Here. I'm going to give you my headphones. Here. We're going to have a special guest singer for a birthday song. You ready to put that on with me?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to turn this on. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Happy birthday.
Liking it?
From both of us to you.
Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Yeah, we're singing happy birthday to the first.
We love
happy birthday
to have you here.
Happy birthday. Yeah. This is awesome.
Here's
Daily
to
dysfunction.
another
So you want to say happy birthday to Daily Function?
Yeah.
You tell them happy birthday. Yeah, there you go.
I like to listen to the headphones. You know why?
Why is that?
Because
you can hear
I
it?
can hear everything.
I know they pick up good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, you want to tell people we're going to redirect to the Per Se Lawyer. You want to say go watch the Per Se?
Go watch the
All right. We appreciate you. Go over and again enjoy that, and we will see you tomorrow. See ya.